Hello and welcome to my stream. Tonight we play more of Cosmic Star Heroine and we'll be continuing the outcome from last time. Last time we finished exploring Romu. We were only checking the last location we found in there, which was the secret lab. And that lab was abandoned, it was mysterious, full of dangerous monsters, especially the boss, and also full of mysteries, because in the end of our exploration, we found some files, we found some information that we'll need to see what our team or what our agency will be able to learn from that. But it seems that it's about some sort of experiment that I think it's trying to use technology on living things or like organic creatures to control them or like to either brainwash them and turn them into zombies or something along those lines, because that's what actually happened in that secret lab regarding the boss and some other creatures. Because we defeated the boss once, and then there was like this one, not nano robot, but this one micro robot that went to the boss brain and gave life back to him. But then I believe he was now like an android zombie of some sort. And then also at the end of everything, after we left the place, there was a cutscene that showed a mysterious character. I believe the character's name was Arit, but it's on my notes. I'm not fully certain if that was her name, but I believe that's her name. Maybe today, who knows, we can learn more about that character, but it seems to be someone very important, as the person was somewhat observing us, or maybe she got late to the lab. I believe that she was maybe also interested on the files we got, but then I'm not sure if she was interested on those files to keep them secret or if she wanted to do something with them herself, like to come up with a project or an evil plan herself, or maybe not even an evil plan. But anyway, I'm not sure about her interests, but she was there as well. She knew or she saw that we got the information and material from the lab, and we'll need to see what's going to happen out of that research that we got, and also what is the objective from this character. But also they mentioned something about Project Lumina, and then I wrote in here on my notes as a side quest that I should figure more about or figure out more about this project. I believe it's the name of this experiment, but then today I may be getting those answers. Anyway, oh yeah, not to forget that once we were really back to the headquarters, Alyssa had a nightmare that was very realistic looking and very foreshadowing, maybe. It was a nightmare where she was getting a robot kinda being implanted to her brain or to her head, along the lines of we kinda saw in the lab, just like I described. A robot that could control the minds or give life back to dead. So it was a very freaky nightmare, but I don't know if it was only a nightmare as well. There is also that question, like what if that really happened and then they are, just putting it as a nightmare so we don't suspect of anything. And then later on in the game there will be a plot twist of like, oh my god, Alyssa doesn't control herself anymore because there is a robot in her head now. I don't know, we'll need to see. But I actually liked that a lot. Like, if this game goes on that direction, shit's going to happen for real and I will like it. It's going to be a very dark game. But anyway, let's see what we can do today back to the headquarters and if there are new missions or new side quests. Hey Ultras, what's up, man? How's it going? Ultras, I know for sure you are super happy about the new Ghost album, right? I do not remember the album's name, but I saw it trending on Twitter. That's how I got to know it. And then you sent me two suggestions of songs. I heard them today. The first one was super funny. How was it called? Splitways or something? I'm not sure. Spillways, right? Spillways. The first one was super funny because the song is amazing. It's like very good. And every time I was like, oh, the song is now going to turn into heavy metal and I'm going to hate it. It's now, it's happening, it's at the next second and then it's not. They kind of teased me on some moments of like, it's turning heavy metal now, and then it's not turning into heavy metal. So it was great because of that, because they were having a very powerful and energetic song that felt a lot like some 80s songs and stuff. But the moments that I was like, maybe it's now that's going to turn heavy and then I'm like going to complain, they were not. Like they just teased it a little bit, you know? They just faked it out. And then the other song that I also can't remember the name exactly, but Something Would, if I'm not mistaken, that song was great and did not fake me at all, like towards turning into something heavier, like with screams and stuff. No, it was like more predictable or more along the lines of what I was expecting. And both were really good songs, very unique as well, a mix of all sorts of influences. And I really liked those songs. And I actually added them to my playlist. I don't know if I will be listening to them any often, but they are there. So anytime Spotify puts it to play, I will be checking them out. But yes, man, the album seems to be great from those two songs. And you are right, I did like those songs. Not really what I listen to normally, but I did like the songs especially because, like I said, they did not turn into something very heavy or very metal-like or anything too aggressive to my taste, right? Even though the first song had its moments of like, oh my god, it's now, it's not. It was still along my own taste. You're going to have some dinner, alright, man? Let me just turn this light lower because it's getting to my eyes. But I hope that I'm not getting too dark or the lighting, right? The lighting in here is not getting too darker. But my lamp in here was too close to my eyes, it was making me blind. You're going to eat some chicken wings? Alright, man. Let me open the game then. Wait, controller? Is it not properly connected? Oh no, it's my computer. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, by the way, today is one of those days. We may be getting a lot of computer problems. Even when I was starting the stream, I got a disconnection thanks to my computer. And I'm actually a little bit late on the stream because I was waiting my computer to chill down a little. So I believe we might be getting some issues. But let's go with it, right? Let's go anyway. And hope for the best. Oh yeah, and I'm still curious to know why is this chapter called Mistakes of the Past, because that triggers me a lot of Chrono Trigger, but I'm still not sure why is that. So we stopped in our room. Let's do some exploration. No new emails. Is that a video game? I never seem to finish any of the RPGs I buy, maybe on my next vacation. I mean, I do finish my RPGs, but they take months. Or years if you consider Digimon World. I'm not hungry. Lucky you, because I may be getting hungry very soon. Oh, look at my party members down there. Man, this song is so Persona 5-like. I love it. Speaking on which, I was a little bit nostalgic on Persona 5 this week. And then I was remembering probably the biggest plot twist of the game. I was watching a reaction to it. Bruh, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to wake somebody up quietly. You need to see what we found out. Is it about the robots that possess brains and then control that organic creature? Dave, have you been hacking into places you are not supposed to be in? Dude, I have a thing to say about that though. I saw that Toei Animation, which is like one of the biggest animation studios of the world, because they work on classic animes like One Piece and also Dragon Quest and others. They even worked on Saint Seiya, if I'm not mistaken, which is my favorite anime. They got hacked, and thanks to this hack attack, people got their animes releases delayed. And then I feel bad for the One Piece people because, according to my friend, One Piece has been getting to very major moments because also it's getting closer to the end of it finally. But yes, like it's probably going to get delayed and then people will need to wait. And it's also delaying Dragon Quest that I was watching some months ago, but as I kinda got a little bit tired of it, because it was not surprising me in any ways anymore, it was very more of the same, like the episodes, so I decided to give it a break and focus on something else. They can delay Dragon Quest because, anyway, I will go back to it in the future only. I don't need to rush towards it. I'm actually waiting for it to end, because in my opinion it should have ended way back. I have no idea why they are taking so long to complete the anime. I mean, I have an idea because I was talking about that with Early on Discord, and then he told me that it's because the fights are getting longer, or like they're taking many episodes. But I don't know, I think they had a chance to finish the show already, and they probably came out with, a whole new plot that could have been unnecessary, in my opinion. So actually, this was on Sector's Chief Su's insistence. He told me he had a bad feeling about this mission and wanted me to look into it. I mean, we were there, of course something was wrong or something was off, like, it was a freaking secret lab full of robots and a monster that destroyed and killed the terrorists, and disturbing artificial intelligence speaking to us and threatening us. We didn't need the Chief Su's approval that this is serious or like this is bad. And look into it, I did, and boy, I hit pay dirt. Or did I hit pay dirt? Listen to this transmission from Director Steele I found. Wait, are they going to talk about our own agency's conspiracies and like corruptions? Is this the game where we go against our own agency? These fools from Nastria don't realize the magnitude of what they have discovered. Just another old research station? Hardly. I have dispatched some of our best agents to the site to secure the device. And of course, you'll be nearby to clean up the mess if they fail. Hey Death Dog, what's up man? How's it going? Yeah, they talked about this Lumina project last time. The Lumina project has the potential to heal the wounded mind. No longer will humanity struggle against itself. Okay, so I see what's happening. In that lab, they were using this Lumina project for the evil. But then now our agency is showing it in a way that we can use it. We can use that research, or we can use it. Wait, we can use it. There we go, for good. But I'm not fully convinced by Director Steele right here that he is planning to use it for good. Fine, how about me, dude? Where to start even? Should I have like a venting moment? Because a lot has happened actually. Let me have a venting moment and see where this gets or something. I'm doing okay, although this week was one of the wildest ones in my life. But in the end now it's okay, because if there is something that I love about I don't know, taking risks or doing what I want to do and stuff, is getting answers. So I did get myself many answers, and with those answers, of course, I can like plan my life again, or think on what am I going for, or where I'm going after, or what I'm doing next, things like that. But to start everything, I took my booster vaccine on Monday. I was kind of talking about this to Victor because Victor also was going to have his vaccine. And I was telling everybody that, oh, probably I'm going to have a reaction from it because the one vaccine we have available in my city is one that kind of gives a reaction. It gives fever. Some people can get their body to be in pain and stuff. But it only lasts like 1 or 2 days. And I did get a very bad fever that I was even thinking that I would not sleep well on that day. But thankfully, after it ceased, I still slept a couple hours, so I didn't have a full insomnia or something. But it was only like in the morning. The fever lasted for the whole night, and it gave me like 38 plus degrees Celsius of fever. But anyway, I struggled on Monday and Tuesday with the AstraZeneca vaccine, but I'm actually very happy that I went for that right in the beginning of the week because on the other days I get, or at least I should say I got, some other major things going on in my life. And then if I had both things going on together, I think I would, I don't know, break down because no, I'm glad I could separate the vaccine and the booster from my personal own business and situations, right? But like, of course I will not jump into details, but what I can say is that sometimes in your life you have opportunities to be 100% yourself. There aren't many opportunities, like at least in my life there aren't many opportunities, and I think that for many people also there aren't. There are only a few moments where you can like place all of your cards on the table and be fully open to people and say what you really want to say and also see if you can do what you really want to do and stuff. So yeah, this week I had that moment. Like after a very long time, I could like be 100% myself. It is scary. You think about the worst. I felt a little bit depressed before doing it. Uh, anyway, it's always hard to be fully 100% yourself, but sometimes it's important. And even though right now I don't know what's going to be the outcome from being 100% myself, I realized something major. And also, hey Victor, what's up, man? I was just saying that I took the vaccine, like the booster, on Monday. I told you that I was thinking about Wednesday or Tuesday. No, I went right away on Monday because I wanted to get rid of it. And then, dude, I did get my fevers and everything. But how about you? Did you get your booster as well? But yes, I took the risk. I was like fully clear and I was 100% myself. And normally people will glitch. It's so funny when you see the reactions from people. People normally bug and glitch like when you kind of tell them your true intentions and things. Yeah, my friend glitched, and then I'm waiting for my friend to recover from that and see the outcome. But what I realized the most was that the best moment for you to get answers and for you to understand why your life is the way it is or why things happen the way they happen to you, it is at moments like this when you can be 100% yourself no matter what. And even though, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, I got my answers. Like now I know what I'm looking for, and I realized that what I was having was not what I was looking for, even though for many years I thought I was going to get what I wanted. And I realized that the true culprit for me to not have what I want to have and everything is not me. Believe it or not, like maybe you guys can relate to this somehow, or I don't know, but many people say that, oh, you have the life you have because of yourself, or like, oh, you can't change your life because of you. This time it was not that. It was clear to me that the reason why my life is the way it is, or like why things don't change that much, or why can't I have what I was looking for, is not because of me. It is actually because of the system, society, people, and the universe. So that's why I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great because I took like a burden from my back from realizing that I don't want to say 100% of the shit that goes on my life, but a lot of the problems that I have in my life, it's not because of me. Because I do take actions on like trying to make my life better. Like I try to do things that I think that will improve my life somehow. And even when you kind of, expose all of those things to people and see how they react and see also which situations were together with that or with all of that, you realize that it's not your fault. I don't want to say it's also the fault of the others. No, it's something bigger. It's the fault of the system. Like, people don't have initiatives. Like, people don't stand up to do something different. Like, for the minor things. I have been noticing as well that every time I ask something for a friend, every time, it's not just one friend, it's like probably all of my friends or most of them, they take forever to like either reply me or like find time in their lives or give me a priority to do what I was asking. It's everything so complicated for something that if it were the opposite, like if it were them asking me for something, I would like treat them as a priority, or like I would place them with the same importance as I treat my own personal deals, and try my hardest to like give what they were looking for the fastest I could. But when I'm on the other side asking for something, it takes forever. They forget about it. I need to be insisting every time, every week, every month even, and then nothing happens. Like, or when it happens, it's like after a lot of time, a lot of stress, a lot of things. So I realized that what's wrong in here is not my fault because I take initiatives. I tell them directly. I was the most direct I could this week with my friend. Hence why I was 100% myself. I was like, hey, this is the whole scope. I'm placing all of the cards on the table. Can you please give me a reaction to what's going to happen next? Because otherwise, I don't know, I think I should move on into something else, find a new friend, or... Because I was not seeing the evolution of things, basically. And I have the feeling it's not the fault of people. It's the fault of the system. It's the fault of the universe. Everything needs to have a lot of, complications until they can finally happen. That's... I don't know. It was mind-blowing to me how slow things were happening to me. And how much I was like, giving my energy to things to happen and taking initiatives, while on the other hand, I was not seeing the feedback. Or it was super quiet, or it's like people can't have initiatives, or at least not towards me or something. Anyway, I was dealing with a situation like that. I of course did not give you the details, but it was around those lines of like, why people can't be more proactive, or like why can't uh, there be a quicker response, into something, or anyway. And I realized that even though it was somewhat frustrating and disappointing and scary to have this confrontation, in the end it was worth, because I realized what was going on was not what I was looking for. And even though the system, the universe, people, and everything made me think that with like a natural evolution of a friendship, I would be able to get where I wanted, that's not true either. So now that I saw that it's not like that, because like no matter the more I invest and the more I dedicate and the more I grow on that friendship, things don't act like, or don't come back in like a quicker response, or like treating me as a priority of some sort. No, it's always, or like I don't get initiatives back. It's always me that needs to take the first step, and also the second step, and the fifth step. I realized that this is the system. It is there is something, a conspiracy that blocks me from changing my life, basically. And I'm stuck on this one cube apartment because something out there doesn't allow me to have more experiences in my life, because my friends kinda, I don't know, they don't take initiatives that would take me out of where I am in my life. I realize that as a clear morning sky after these days, and that's why I'm happy, even though the confrontation was rough and hard and even sad. But I'm happy because I know what I'm looking for now, and I realize that it is not the fault of people, or especially not my fault, because I do take the steps, and nothing changes. There is a system out there that's conspiring against me, against you, against everybody. That people will be like slow AF to do things. They will not be proactive. I don't know, they will be lazy as well to like help you to change your life, or like to take an initiative. And it blows my mind on how, when it's the opposite, I do everything the hardest I can to like give that attention the person is asking for, but when it's me, it feels like everything slows down, and it has problems, it has complications, it has situations. Even when I it's so dumb, guys. Even when I help to organize the lives of my friends into something, and I don't see the feedback. I don't see them being able to like do the things in an easier way. No, everything needs to be full of complications, full of delay, full of lag. Everything takes forever. And then now, after the confrontation, I saw that I need to change my social life again, or like I need to find a way to make more friends or new people that will somehow take me out of this apartment cube, or like that will put me into new experiences, new places, and go in the direction that I wanted. I don't want to like say that my friends are bad or they are shit. They are not, but I felt they are now limited because of the system or because of something. I don't know what's going on, but, and especially I realize it's not my fault, because even when I'm the most direct person ever, saying that, hey, I want this, I need this, could we do that, something will go on in other people's lives that they won't be able to do what I'm asking, uh, I don't know, easily or quickly. Even when it's the slightest thing, guys, even when it's like hanging out, for example, there is always a complication. There is always a situation that we can't hang out, even when our intimacy level is like max. Can you believe that? Oh, Meowser, hey man, what's up? I'm venting here like crazy, but thank you so much for the resub, dude. What's up? But yes, let me conclude the situation. I just want to say that if you have a chance, guys, to be like 100% yourself towards somebody else, pay attention to the details. Look around, think about what are the situations that like made the person have a reaction that the person had, or like that made everything to get to that point, because you get a lot of answers if you look around. If you pay attention to the details when you are 100% yourself. It is like super scary for you to really say the things you want to say and everything, expose yourself like that, but you learn so much from it. And also it gets easier and easier every time you have a confrontation like that towards your life. So now I got like it's like a video game. Now I really want to reset and go after new experiences, because now I see that what I was having so far was not what I was looking for. And I'm looking for is something that will take me out of my apartment, something that will give me new places, new people, new everything, like new locations to visit, new experiences in my life. And I don't know, there was something that was blocking me from getting that, even though I was being the most clear person ever about wanting to have that. But anyway, that was my week. I was struggling with the vaccine, but then thank goodness it's over. And I had this one confrontation with friends that made me open my eyes a lot about what is the real problem here. And the real problem is not me, it's not you, it's the system. It's like people don't have initiatives, people don't do things as importantly to others. or like I don't know, they have all sorts of excuses to like I don't even know how to explain, guys, but I now know that I need to go after new people and new friends and to have new experiences because, and also I need to identify this click on other people earlier than like investing years and years and years with a relationship and with a friendship and not seeing the feedback that I was looking for, because I thought that it was something natural, like, oh, if I keep on bonding and developing a friendship, at some point we'll be having experiences, right? We'll be hanging out, we'll be meeting each other. I'm waiting for that. Where is that? There isn't. Anyway, I'm like fresh. I'm ready to reset everything. I'm ready to jump into new adventures now, and let's see what's going to happen. And then also I will wait for the outcome of the clash. But yeah, definitely that's the lesson. If you guys can have a moment that you can be true to yourself like 100%, be brave because it's never easy, but also pay a lot of attention because you see what you are really looking for. You see that maybe what's going on in your life is not what matters to you that much, or like you are not going to get what you are looking for the way things are. Um, and also don't worry too much about glitching people because the system, the universe, like everything set people to like be this one way, and then once you bring up like the truth for like different things, they glitch, they bug. So whatever, it's not my fault. You should have like updated yourself so you could, I don't know, understand people that think differently than you. Anyway, that's it. How was everybody else's weekend or like week, right? Because that was mine, but I'm doing all right because of my own life lessons. You got it too, Victor. You had a slight fever. I got a heavy fever on the first night and a slight fever on the next night. But then I followed some tips like to heal faster from fever on the heavy fever, which were basically like staying in front of a fan and not wearing many clothes or like not covering your body with stuff, drinking a lot of water non-stop. I also learned that orange can help you to cure from fever, so I ate an orange and I drank a lot of passion fruit juice. And then I pretty much laid on the bed with a fan right on my body, waiting for the fever to cease because the medicine alone was not enough to do it on the first night, on how heavy that fever was. But thankfully, around 5 a.m. or something, the fever ceased, and then I was able to still sleep to my surprise. And then on the next day, there was a slight and weaker fever, but I took the medicine, and then the medicine was enough to get rid of it, and then I'm good now. Also, hi Suber, what's up, man? How's it going? But Victor, I'm happy we both now got our boosters, so we are safe from everything. Let me see Ultra's messages. For what it's worth, you are 99% myself most of the time, and 100% it's a very large leap from there, and not most often occurrence. Yes, that's what I was saying. It's rare to me as well to be like 100% myself. I can count on my fingers the amount of times I had that chance, right? And I had that chance this week. Because even though I was scared, I was scared and like worried, it was also necessary because as life has been going on to me, I'm realizing that when I have opportunities, I should not waste them anymore. So there was an opportunity for me to be 100% myself. It was clear. I could see it. I identified it beforehand, right? I was like, should I jump into it? And then I was creating courage to go into it. And then I was thinking about what am I going to say? What am I going to do? And then I went for it. But again, it's so crazy how once you have that confrontation, it's crazy how you go from like what you thought you were having into what you want to have. you know, and then how they don't match. So that's why I was saying that once you can be 100% yourself at moments like that, you see clearly what you want and you get answers that are very important to you. Even though, like, no matter what happens on that one confrontation, you know where you want to go next, basically. I mean, maybe I should mention that, like, the first time, or one of the first times I was 100% myself, I was also sent down into a bottom pit. Like, I got destroyed, or like I felt really bad, and then that's how I probably first started my depression. Although now I don't feel worried, like I learned a lot, I overcame it, and then it turned into anxiety, but even the anxiety has been more controlled in general. But yes, the first time I had this one confrontation, I had problems, of course. But it's what I'm saying, like the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more you learn as well. Today, I'm a complete different person than who I was when I had this first experience. And also because I learned from that. So every time you can have this 100% moment, you really take good lessons from everything you see. And man, now I feel re-energized to like go after new goals, to go after new friends, to go after new people, because I want to live more experiences. And then for some reason, even though when I expose those experiences to my friends, or to like my social circle, they don't take initiatives towards me. Like, they don't pick me up to, hey, let's go to the beach. No, that doesn't happen. Like, hey, let's go, I don't know, walk, or let's go to this one concert, or like come to my house, let's play video games. That doesn't happen. Like, people are always, I don't know, is stuck into something that I can't explain. Like, they don't take initiatives. And then I'm a person that I go there and I act. I'm like, if there is something I want, I say it. Like, let's do this, shall we? Let's go for it. And then, like I said, I need to insist, I need to be pushing over, I need to remember them about my existence on the next week. It is, you know, like unfair, because if it's the opposite, I will like really do my hardest to fill that up as fast as I can. Like, you are in need of this? Okay, let me see when I can do it. Probably today or tomorrow I can already like, hey, this is what you asked me for, right? I of course understand that people's lives are different, and then like some people's lives can be busier than mine, of course, that's a fact. But it's a matter of like having or giving importance as well, you know. And I realize that people are, in general, of course, like they are really into some other things that don't allow me to get out of the state of life that I am. So no matter how much I bond with them, they don't. Maybe it's because the way they are as well, but it's definitely not my fault. Because I do have the initiatives, I have the motivation, I have the energy, and I'm still where I was, like, I don't know, 3 years ago or something. I mean, it's still quotation marks. Of course, things changed, I changed, and like I learned a lot, and I had some experiences, but you know, everything feels slow. It's like the universe goes against me, or like everything needs to have obstacles, everything needs to be complicated, everything needs to delay. I realize that I'm tired of this shit. I need to find more people that are like, you know, can we hang out like next day? Let's go. Something like more, you know, intense like that, because I'm realizing that I'm a very intense person. I'm not an extrovert, but I do have I do want to become more intense towards experiences. So I'm down, you know. But people are not. People are always busy or not thinking on others, or only on their own mindset. And then once you do this to them, they bug, they glitch. Like, give me a time. I don't know what to say. I need to think. I need to. Anyway. How is the game going, Meow, sir? We had a crazy boss fight last time, man. It was a boss fight that we won in our last movement possible, because we were going to die on the next round or on the next turn, and then I was like, it is now or never, and then we won it, man. On the last possible attack, we made it. So the game has been very, very challenging, but it's good. Like, I'm liking its battle now, and the plot is starting to develop as well into something that could be related to zombies or like people being controlled by robots. It's getting into something dark that I'm interested. We were actually going to know from this dialogue in here what is the result from our previous mission and previous exploration. So maybe they will enlighten more about this plot, right? You know those exact situations, Ultras? Yes, I feel like there is a system that blocks us from having people that are more proactive towards us. I don't know if it's laziness. I don't know if it's really like people being busy, but it feels to me that it's more than that. And everybody is kind of blocked. You can't be more open to others, even like, or if other people are open to you, you kind of, I don't know, don't take it as a priority, or you kind of put it like behind and then go do something else, and then you don't see how important that would be to the other person. I don't know, but something is wrong. That definitely something is wrong. And what is the most important here is for you to realize that it's not your fault. It is not your fault, because people also kind of get to say this, like, oh, you have the life you have, it's because of you. Or like, oh, you can't do much, it's because you don't act towards other experiences. It's wrong. It's because people also don't, go after you, or like help you out, or like they take you into new experiences. No, they are doing something else that don't get you or something. You bought a second Nintendo 64? Yes, you said that, right? Did you get it already? With some controllers and games? Donkey Kong 64 amongst others. Didn't you have it before? Oh yes, you also don't have Mario Party 3, right? Did you get the Rumble pack? Wait, your old Nintendo 64 is back to life? There we go. How did you fix it? Sabru, I'm doing alright, man, but I went through a lot this week. Not only the booster vaccine, because it gave me a reaction, the AstraZeneca. It is what people say here in Brazil, like it does beat you up. But thankfully I did not feel the body pain, right? Because I feel like if I had that pain, I would not sleep. But I got the fever, but then I survived, right? And then now it's okay. And then during the week I had a moment, or like a confrontation with my friend, that like we kind of discussed everything, like our friendship and then the future, and I showed like what has been going on, what were my plans. I was like 100% myself, clear as a morning day. And I realized that people don't have initiatives towards me, people don't plan things with me either. Like, it's so funny. I'm like, oh, I have those expectations of like, let's go to this place, let's do this together, I don't know, let's have all sorts of things in the future. As I see the friendship progressing, as I see that we are getting more intimate, and then once I confront them, I don't sit back. It's like, oh wait, you do want to do those things, but I don't know, they glitch, they kind of, they bug. They're like, oh really, are we not going to be, I don't know, texting friends forever? I'm like, seriously, that's your goal with a friendship, like just to be texting them forever and forever and forever? I'm like, are you kidding me? So yes, I realize what I need now. I need people that are like going to places, because as soon as I realize that there is a friend that I'm meeting that is going to be one of those only text friends, I don't know if I will invest too much into it, because I want more experiences. I need to get out of my house. I need to be more social out there, even though I know I have my deals, I have my problems, I have my situations. But what is the point of like I said, investing into a friendship that doesn't give you new experiences? I mean, there is a point, don't get me fully wrong though. I'm also speaking with my emotions, so of course I may be saying things a little bit off. I mean, I like to have my friends that I only text, especially my friends that I can't meet in real life, or like they live far from me, like you guys, also my other friends in Brazil. But what I'm saying is that if there is a chance, there is a situation, there is a condition that could, allow you to have more meetings, hanging out, and stuff, why wouldn't you? I know that there was the pandemic, but now the pandemic is, more softened, so you could create plans with people, you could, dedicate a little bit more, but not even only that. Like I said, when I ask for something, people take forever, they forget, I need to be remembering, forcing and pressuring and waiting. But anyway, Sabri is saying that he was not in here last week because he didn't have internet. Wait, you got 72 hours without phone and internet, man? But is it fixed now? Is it because of, I don't know, I'm guessing natural disasters? Did you check the VOD though? Did you see that win on that boss? That's my passive. It's like I get an extra chance to win a fight when everything is lost on the last hit, right? Yes, that was me on Xenogears, me on Tales of Symphonia sometimes, I think. Oh, it included 2 Rumble packs? Nice, man. It turns out the power supply had given up, so using the power cable from the second Nintendo 64 had your old one up and running on the first attempt. There we go! I'm happy that you test that out, right? Because maybe it would, I don't know, leave it behind and then just focus on the new video game. But I understand how annoying it is when the power supply troubles you, because for example my older 3DS, I could not recharge it naturally anymore, so I had to buy an external recharger or battery recharger and do the whole process, but it's very annoying. But I can still use my 3DS, it's just not as good anymore. But speaking on my 3DS, I gotta say briefly in here, today was an amazing day for me on Mario Kart 7. I was so glad that I got so many first places in there, that because normally I only get into the average. I'm always like 4th or 5th. I don't know what happened, but today I was first in so many courses, even the ones I never got first before, like some challenging courses. I was inspired or very lucky today. I appreciated that. I was blaming the universe for problems and everything, but thank you for the luck on Mario Kart 7 today. That was magical. But anyway, let's go for more of the game. The Lumina project has the potential to heal the wounded mind. No longer will humanity struggle against itself. That's what I was saying. They are posing as like we are going to save the world, but I'm not sure if that's their real intentions. Subway is saying that what happened to him was that for some reason the cable, the power cable, got ripped apart on Friday, and then the technician went to his house, he fixed it, and then during the night it broke again? Do you have a pet? Could it be a pet like eating the cable or something? Probably not, right? You guys would figure that out. The taboos that bind us will be shattered. The Agency of Peace and Intelligence will finally fulfill its name. Humanity will rule over all. Man, I really don't trust the agency. Okay, Victor. And then Subaru called the service so they could go there to fix it again. But they said they wouldn't call they wouldn't send anybody anymore. Also because they would start changing the previous cables into the new technology or the new cables. So they were forced to go into the new plan. And then the new plan technician only went there on Monday. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, but is your internet better now at least? Because if they were upgrading your cables, I imagine your internet got better as well, right? So the cable was torn apart in the street between a post or between two posts, right? I see, so it's not like an animal that could be tearing it apart. He must be referring to the right? He must be referring to the Mental Autonomy Act. No technology will be made that infringes on an individual's right to freedom of thought. No technology will be made that infringes on an individual's right to freedom of thought. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that the lab that we were exploring and finding the monsters last time, they were with this one technology that the robots get to brains of both living and dead bodies to control them. The War of Cybernetic Insanity. A traditional computer virus might ruin a machine, but when the machine in question is directly hooked up to the human brain, don't we already have something about that going on, like in reality, in the real world, like people that have some sort of microchip in their brains to help them to function? Or am I crazy? Or are we still not up to that technology? I know the idea is, or it has been discussed for a while by now, but actually wasn't it Elon Musk that wanted to work on that as well? I have the feeling he was with some sort of project into, I don't know, turning people's minds into computers or something. Actually, I just had speaking on like technologies and how dark it can get, I just remembered one article I saw on Twitter probably 2 weeks ago. I don't remember if I brought this up, but I think I haven't. That I forgot which was the country now. Yeah, but there is a country in the world, I don't remember which one anymore. But this one country, it has been developing robots that would like attack immigrants, or like it would attack unauthorized immigrants when they try to cross the borders between two countries. So basically, some country out there is already studying robots that could be monitoring or like guarding such borders. And then the news were kind of saying that those robots would look like dogs. And that's crazy because one of the most disturbing and messed up episodes of Black Mirror is Metalhead. And Metalhead is exactly like that. It is like robot dogs that attack people. So yes, I just remember reading that on Twitter that it seems Black Mirror is getting more real than we thought. Somebody saying that his internet is faster, so that's an advantage. Although it is not easy to fix this new fiber technology as the previous one, because you gotta replace the whole cables or all of the cables if needed. And then in case also there is a power outage, the phone or the house phone will stop from working. While in the previous technology, the phone would still work even though they got a power outage. It's been forever since I used house phones. I mean, my parents have it, but I didn't know that once I always assumed that once the light was out, you wouldn't be able to call anybody. I have heard the stories of these days, or of those days. The lucky ones went straight into a coma, but most went into a feeding frenzy, killing friends and family without thought. Trapped in our own body, a fate worse than death. Still speaking on technology, just to already say every topic about that I have, I mentioned that the toy animation got hacked, right? So I hope that they can figure that out or sort that out and then provide us the animes again. But also, did you guys see the news about the war against Ukraine and Russia? That after Sony, Microsoft, and even Nintendo, and then earlier today I even saw that Pokemon Go is joining that too. Like they are all blocking their services to Russia, which in my opinion is something good because like we gotta do something to stop this war. But Russia actually decided to do this in their law. They decided to allow piracy. They decided to like, hey, if the population wants to use VPN or like fake IDs, not fake IDs, like fake IPs, right? To use services from like other countries that they can't get anymore in Russia, they kind of allowed that. Like they eased the laws, the Russian laws. So yeah, people there are now trying, or they will be able to do some sort of piracy to get a service that is not available in their country anymore. For example, Nintendo games or Sony games, since they cannot buy them anymore thanks to the company leaving the country or blocking the country. Russia is now like, hey, go for it, go for piracy. So yeah, fun fact for you. So we're saying that the old phones, they get energy or they get energized straight from the line, from the phone line. But then on this new one, they get the energy. Oh, I see. They get the energy from the modem. And then if the modem doesn't get the energy, neither the phone or the line will provide that energy to the phone because they can't get the energy from the line itself anymore. I see. But then cell phones are there, right, man? You can still make a call under a power outage thanks to cell phones. I think you didn't have a very powerful cell phone, I believe, but for calling you're good, right? Trapped in your own body, a fate worse than death. Yeah, that's very Black Mirror here. Thankfully, the technology was still new and had only been accepted by a small percentage of the population, or that would have been the end. Okay, so they acknowledge that has been going on. Why is no one doing something to stop it though? Or were we actually going there to... I didn't think we were there to stop it. I think we were there to face the terrorists, but while we were there exploring, the terrorists died, and then we found another issue, and then we went for the other issue, and we figured out this experiment and Project Lumina that is trying to control or brainwash people's brains. How awful. Every piece of data I have dug up on this Project Lumina he's talking about fills me with dread. It's much more advanced than the old technology. While the old cybernetic technology was open to tampering, Project Lumina offers more direct control. Oh yeah, right, you gotta have the battery recharged from your phone. Yeah, it is just an extra problem that you didn't have before. But that's fine, man, like, with time I believe you'll be able to get used to the new modem and the new cable. But yes, in case there is an outage and then your phone is almost dying, it's going to be hard to make calls or to, I don't know, use some sort of device, right? Unless you get an external battery, right? Or what is it called? A power bank. There we go, a power bank. I actually do have a power bank. I need to find it again. It's been forever since I last saw it in my house. Mind control? Exactly, total control of another's mind. I don't know what Steel's endgame is, but it can't be good. No, this is unacceptable. We can't let this happen. What are you saying? I thought the agency had humanity's best interest in mind, and maybe they did it at one point, but that point is past. I mean, Dave is not saying that the agency will be controlling people's minds. I mean, according to the project, or like, not the project, according to the information he got from hacking, they seem to want to help people to heal from diseases with the technology. I kinda agree with Alyssa that this sounds fishy, but she's jumping into a conclusion that we are not sure yet. Welcome back, Victor. Not much. I don't think you did miss much. I do have news though. Yesterday, I finished pricing my Pokemon cards, and to my surprise, after like placing every information on the chart on like a Excel or Microsoft Excel sheet, and then I got like information and data and prices from 3 different Brazilian shops, like card shops, and 1 international card shop. And then after like taking the references and prices from every one of them, I did get to a big pile of money as a result from my cards. So I'm totally going to sell them, man. I'm totally 100% going to sell my cards. And also, even though I had that sacrifice from my electrical energy that I kind of tore it apart just to have more, just to be more certain that it was a real card, now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good that my cards are there and they are real, and then I won't have a lot of trouble by selling them. I just decided that I will not export my cards. Yes, I don't think I will be selling them to other countries, because the references or the pricing references that I got from this one international card shop, they were not too different from the ones from the Brazilian stores. Plus, many times the Brazilian stores actually had better prices than the international ones. So also to avoid stress from like exporting the cards and dealing with taxing and the, what is the word, the like the institution that controls importation and exportation. I forgot the name for that. But just to avoid problems, I will sell them in Brazil, and I even found a new store that I could do that today. I was researching a little bit today. I got to know a new store that I could be doing that. Customs, yes, to avoid custom problems, like of taxing or being taxed and stuff. No, I will sell my Pokemon cards here in Brazil, and that's it. So I now need to organize myself to start selling them, and also taking the pictures and everything. Some are saying that are thinking about buying a no break. Yes, get one for sure, man. Once I get my computer, the new computer, I will consider also getting one. I do have one for this one computer right now, but it's very old, so I don't fully trust it 100%. And as the new computer, I don't want anything bad to happen to it once I get it. I think I will buy a no break as well, just to keep it safe, right? Awesome, I hope you enjoyed the coming pile of money. Yes, man, according to my calculations, and then of course I went for the average. So when I'm actually announcing them, I can like add a markup, or like I can add a little bit more. I also can add a little bit more for the freight, for like the delivery expense, or like the delivery price. And also, what is the other thing? Oh yeah, and also a little bit more in case the client asks for a discount. So I can already kind of include the discount on the original price, so you know I still get a fair return from that. But according to my calculations, the average price from all of those 3 stores to my cards can give me 5,100 reais. And that in dollars would be something close to 1,000. Yes, my Pokemon cards may value $1,000, man. And maybe more, like I said, if I start adding the expenses, the markup, the freight price and everything. But I'll see. I'll see how can that happen. I thought the agency had humanity. I have read that. No one should yield such ultimate power, especially someone who would use it to dominate over others. And since we are the ones who brought the technology here, it's up to us to deal with it. Yeah, Victor, let's see, man. And also I hope that everyone, like you guys and also my real life friends that know that I'm going to sell these cards, you guys keep on pressuring me for like, hey, did you sell them? Or like, how's the business? Because I took some time, more than what I wanted, to finish pricing all of my cards, right? I was planning to finish that in February, and look at me, it's now March, almost the mid-March, and only now I finished that. So I need a little bit more of a push, you know, to really focus and do that fast, because otherwise it's going to pile up with other future plans, and then I'm going to get it's going to get delayed, and then the faster I could be doing it, the better. Also because selling things take long, or it takes time. So I'm accepting pressure to be selling my cards, basically. And also other things, I'm planning to sell some clothes, I'm planning to sell some electronics as well. I will next week start to work more into that. And since we are the ones who brought the technology here, it's up to us to deal with it. Music to my ears. So we are really going to face the system, or like our boss. Dave, can you remove the relevant files from the API server? No, as soon as the files go up, multiple backups are made. They would duplicate the information faster than I could delete it. However, the information in those files is fragmented and poorly organized. That reminds me when I was trying to make this one computer faster, and then I was like defragging the computer, and it took like 4 or 5 days to finish it. It did help, but not for much long, because then like days later my computer got slow again. It's still slow, so... But yeah, my computer knows what it is to have its files fragmented and poorly organized, that's for sure. Without the physical prototype, it could take them a while to make progress. Yes? You're not seriously thinking. Wait, do you have another idea, John? Well, yes, let's steal the devices back. I honestly don't understand why are we really suspecting from our bosses like that. But I guess that Alisa is more... she's following the straight law, which was like, oh, according to the article something, or according to the law something, there can't be things on people's brains that could change their way of thinking. Yeah, she's going on that path, even if those things that would be on people's brains could make them to be healthier, like which was this agency's plan. But she's like, no, it can't happen because maybe there is a risk of it going bad, or maybe there is a risk of, I don't know, somebody hacking everything and hacking everybody, and then everybody goes evil. By the way, the old Pong console my dad ordered has arrived. To have you played it with him? It almost works. It sometimes almost gives a nearly usable. It sometimes almost gives a nearly usable signal to the TV. So it doesn't really work, man. You guys couldn't play it for real? Or it is like very hard to see? And then, are you thinking about returning the product, or are you keeping it? Because like, if you guys can't really play it, would you just have it for a collection, for decoration, like your father would keep it that way? Yeah, it isn't playable yet. Do you think it's the TV's problem? You would need another TV, maybe? It looks like it's being placed in Vault 348, with some moderate security. There is a scheduled analysis in a few hours, we don't have much time. Oh, you guys are in the process of fixing it. I hope you guys can make it, man, so then you can play Pong. It's funny to say it, right? It's just Pong, but let's go, like with the original console. It's not everybody that can still do it, right? Have that experience. That makes me miss the video game museum that was visiting Rio some years ago. It was super great. I could finally see a Virtual Boy. Have you guys ever seen a Virtual Boy? I played the Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy, so it's so weird. It's so weird. They even had a Rob, that robot, right? A Rob figure, like the one that they used to sell in the past. Yeah, the video game museum was great. And now they probably have even a Switch on it, right? Or maybe a PlayStation 5, who knows? But it's been some years. We need to break in, steal the Lumina prototypes, get out, and then figure out some way to counter this technology. Exactly, it's gonna be so much fun to finally play Pong properly, right? I have never seen one in real life, but I know what it's about. It is very weird. I don't know how they were bold enough to release it, you know, because it's only black and red, and it's so uncomfortable for it to like be like this, and then you can't move it. I appreciate like the research, because like it was you know, it is the first step towards something better for the future, but still it's, I don't know how they thought it could be comfortable for people to be playing that. Yeah, they took a very big step, totally. It was one of those essential failures. Yes, I don't know how they couldn't predict that. It's just the Wii U, right? Although I gotta say that I was surprised about the Wii U's failure. I was not expecting that big hit on the Wii U. But the Virtual Boy was completely like... How are they going to convince people to play it like that? But again, I appreciate that they started something like that. It was an idea that just had to get upgraded with time. The Wii U was pretty much a flop. Do you guys understand it? I mean, I understand it after, like, hearing the news that, oh yeah, the Wii U could not compete against the other consoles because it didn't have many third-party games, and it was commercialized in the wrong way of like, oh, isn't it just like the Wii? And then the parents were not buying it. But like, for people that understand the console for real, for example me, I knew it was not the same as the Wii. Like, the commercials were kind of saying to the parents. And I still knew that the Wii U was getting good games that were still worth it playing, right? It surprised me on the way things went, like, I was not expecting that backlash. I understand the criticism, but it's not like the first time Nintendo kinda shits to third parties, right? At least they learned the lesson again, like, they learned that we gotta have the support from third parties to be successful, and then now the Switch is it is a banger. It's like super... it's probably their most successful video game, if I'm not mistaken. It's getting there, up to the ranks. It's hard to follow up to the Wii since it was by chance successful. At the same time, after the Wii was successful, PlayStation tried to copy the Wii, right? With the I think it's called the PS remote or PS mode. Do you guys remember that? That was another big failure. And again, I also have heard that that the Xbox Kinect was a failure as well. That surprised me because in my opinion the Kinect was not exactly the same as the Wii or the PS mode or PlayStation mode. And at least like around where I was, the Kinect was somewhat trendy. But I think it's the same idea of like it didn't get enough games or enough good games for the Kinect to stay uh, for very long in the market. Something happened in there for the Kinect to also fail. Have you guys ever played something on the Kinect? You know something that I sometimes think to myself about doing? I think to myself about getting a Wii in the future. I know it's an old console by now, but man, I loved it. Like, especially, I would get a Wii just for playing Wii Sports Resorts. That game is so good. It's so damn good. I was even talking about it last time, right? I was even recommending that guy's YouTube channel that he covered the song, the main theme from Wii Sports Resorts. I still remember the guy's YouTube channel now, Guitar Geek 25 or 23 or something. Yeah, it's not Victor the Guitar Nerd, but you also should check out his channel. But Guitar Geek 23 or 25, his cover was amazing. But I would get a Wii just to play that game, I swear to you. On how much I was I was under a spell, right, of that game. It's so magical to me. I hope that the new one, like Switch Sports Resort, no wait, Nintendo Switch Sports, there we go. It also creates some sort of magic, although I'm not sure if the magic will be the same from the trailer. I think it won't. Had the Wii not been packed with the Wii Sports, I doubt it would have done as well. You see, people still talk about the Wii Sports, right? I would love to play Wii Sports Resorts still today. I love that game so much. And it's been forever since I last played it. Nintendo has always wanted to revolutionize how games are played. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I love them. It's also because they don't do things the same as the other companies. They always try to come up with something new, right? So I love them for that, but also because it's a pack of things. Like they don't go into many ultra violent and serious games that I kind of don't play myself. They go fantasia, simple, also puzzle. Like they have many puzzle games and also many RPGs, while other consoles would have or focus FPS, shooters, horror, action, things like that that I'm not really too interested. So I like Nintendo for that, but also because they are creative and they try to always bring something new, and also because they don't force themselves to be as expensive as the other consoles, because if they were as expensive as the other consoles, I would suffer even more to get their games. I know people criticize Nintendo, which by the way, I saw the headlines, but I don't remember if I checked the news themselves. But did you guys hear rumors about Nintendo Switch getting a upgraded version? I mean, this rumor has been going on for a while, and then we had a rumor like that for the Nintendo OLED. But this time the rumor is back, and it seems that maybe Nintendo is working on, a more powerful console that could maybe, who knows, compete with the other two, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XXXX. You keep on adding S and X to that name, which remind me of like Elon Musk getting another baby that has a weird name as well. I think somewhere in the name there is like, I'm now curious. Let me Google how was that name. At least this time it is a name that people can pronounce, because their first baby, I swear to God, I still don't know how to say that child's name. But yes, there is a second kid that The name was pronounceable at least. What's going on with me that I'm bringing up Elon Musk so many times today on this stream? Yeah, it's this one, right? Oh, never mind. Where is it? Was it fake news? No, there we go. The other name is like Exadark Sideral Musk. Yes, Exadark Sideral Musk. I was I thought it was so funny that it has like Sideral on its name. I don't know if that is an English word, but it's a word in Portuguese, and of course it is related to space. You can even say like sideral space in Portuguese or espaço sideral. It's so crazy. He goes for the weirdest names ever. Let me see. I remember the period of time I tried really hard to get a Wii and everywhere was sold out. You got close to one and gave up. I would totally get a Wii today, man, just to play the freaking Wii Sports Resorts forever. And you know what's the best? I know it's not going to be too expensive for me to buy it. I'm just like planning this to the future because I have other priorities right now, but someday I would do it for sure. Just like Victor and his dad buying older consoles, I would do that so much. Kid and his mom had one, and she was like, "Sorry, kid, last one," like something from a movie. There was really only enough room for one of those, and then the Wii got it. I understand that. Yes, the Wii was the first, and then like the all of the other ones were copying it, and then it didn't have the same magic. But the Kinect was successful in terms of sale. Yeah, in here the Kinect was kind of trendy, you know. I have been to friends' houses with a Kinect, so I had some opportunities to play it. Although when I checked the news, I kind of saw it didn't last forever, like didn't last too much as well. There were even people saying that Xbox and Microsoft should get rid of it so the price for their consoles could be much lower. I think that was also what brought the Kinect to ruin, because maybe the price for the Xbox was too high together with the PlayStation or in comparison to the PlayStation price. And then the gamers were like, don't give me a Kinect if this is going to make this more expensive. That's not what I want to be playing, you know? And then the Xbox and Microsoft, they kind of cut it from the consoles. And then everybody was happier about that. Also because of the cut in the price. And they also didn't get many games. Yes, that's the same situation of the Wii U. The Wii was also designed specifically for it, so all of the games were with that in mind. The Xbox and PlayStation of the time were not. Yeah, they kind of adapted themselves, right? That's true. And then they didn't have many games also because of that. Their motion control came as an afterthought once they realized the Wii was popular. Have we ever spoke about deviled eggs? I mean, if it is what I'm thinking, I think yes, but what if it's not what I'm thinking? Are deviled eggs that weird Chinese recipe for boiled eggs, Ultras? Because, no, never mind. Never mind. Deviled eggs are those snacks, right? That have like a piece of crackers or something, and then you have the boiled egg, and then something else. It's been a while, but yeah, deviled eggs is a snack. You guys taught me that someday. Let me Google them again. So we did talk about them, but I wanna refresh my mind. Yeah, they are those snacks, right? They do not have the crackers though. Ultras, why do you want to talk about deviled eggs? Are you cooking them? Let me go back. You know something that I could have done? I have a cheese bread, a Brazilian cheese bread mix here in my house. I could have baked the cheese bread, so I could show them to you. If I can remind myself to do this for next stream, I'll be here with the Brazilian cheese bread to show that to you all. Yes, I gotta do that cheese bread. Didn't we already get an updated or upgraded Switch? We got, but it is more on the graphics, right? I mean, it is more on the question of like 720p to like 1080 or something. I think the upgrade was not on the parts itself, I believe, like being able to run more demanding games. It was more graphical into like just the vision or just the looks. It was not like to the processor. Although I'm not a computer expert, so I'm sorry if I'm saying uh, wrong terms, but I believe people are rumorizing or getting rumors about a more powerful console that could run, you know, very demanding games. I think he says to pronounce the first kid's name as Ash. Just Ash? It is hard to predict the name of a console from Nintendo. They don't follow a specific pattern. At max, I imagine a Super Switch or Switch Advance. They could go with like a new Switch as well, like the new 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS. Speaking on that, you said the word advance. You remind me that one of the upcoming games of this year by Nintendo is the Advanced Wars reboot. Yeah, reboot, right? 1 plus 2, that's the remake from the Advanced Wars games, which, by the way, great idea because everybody has been waiting for those remakes for so long, and they are coming. Although they are coming delayed because they had to delay the release of it again. But in my opinion, it was a somewhat right decision, and it's because of the war. Nintendo decided to release that game in the future now, or postpone its release because of the Russia-Ukraine war, right? So as it's a game that goes also about war, I think it was okay. I think maybe there are people that are upset because they have been waiting for this game, but I understand what they did in there. Yeah, they don't want to bring up a game about war during the war, right? So I'm fine with that decision. Yes, I also think it was understandable, Death Dog. Yeah, I was surprised because I didn't expect them to like do such a thing, especially after that game was already once delayed, but now they are delayed it again. I didn't have long-term sales, but Microsoft still made a lot of money on it. Yes, on the Kinect. Because it was, like I said, it was different than the Wii. Like, they all follow the same idea of, like, use your body to play, but it was way more different than the PS mode. The PS mode was ridiculous. Not quite, you're not going to cook it, man. It is a boiled egg that you cut in half, and then you pop the yolk out, and then you blend the yolk with mayo Dijon, and you can scoop or pipe it back inside the white part. I hate how there is this much love for boiled eggs in there, man. And you guys still haven't tried the freaking pizza with boiled eggs on it. And then Victor is going to show up saying, "Don't mention it. It's horrifying, the idea of like boiled eggs on pizza because it's wrong." It's good. If you like boiled eggs, it's good. But they are so freaking good. I should try that, yes. But I'm not gonna lie. I feel it's a little bit weird, but I think I will like it, yes. I just need to try it. It's going to be the Switch U. The Switch U. What else could it be like? What could be related? What could be related to the word Switch? Like, mm, I don't know. Switch and return? I don't know. Some are saying that the game's plot is also... Oh, it is? Or is it? Some are saying that the game's plot of Advanced Wars is kinda close to the situation of like Russia versus the world or something? Thanks for giving my exact react reply before I had time to type it. I know, right? I know, Victor. I know. After we had that zealous incident, I learned a lot about you, man. I learned a lot. I know you all. It's the new Super Switch U Advance. Jesus. And then in the end you put like, and Knuckles, right? I still... No, never mind, I did watch. I did watch the trailer for the Sonic 2 movie. Speaking on Sonic, I have some Sonic facts too. Does anybody here know which was the original name for Sonic before Sonic was Sonic? I believe nobody will know that, so I will throw the trivia answer already. So Sonic's original name was going to be Mr. Hedgehog. But then there was a problem. When they were translating Mr. Hedgehog to the West, right, to the other countries, to the world, there was a mistranslation that caused Sonic's original name in the rest of the world to be something completely different. And then Sonic was known as Mr. Needlemouse. Isn't it great, Mr. Needlemouse? Mr. Needlemouse and Tails, Mr. Needlemouse and Knuckles, Mr. Needlemouse the movie. How would be the scenic version of that name? Mr. Needlemice. Mr. Needlemice. Yeah, but then now I believe Sonic is much better. Oh my god, Ultros, you... Okay, Ultros actually got Sonic's full name. Yes, I saw that on Wikipedia once. It is OGV Maurice Hedgehog. Yeah, that's such a refined name. He's only missing the... How is that in English? Like that one lens glasses that like the Monopoly guy wears? I don't know. Monocle, right? He's only missing a monocle to his eyes. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary to find a trendy pizza place here to do an egg on the pizza, but it would be cracked on raw, and the idea is to have runny yolk and baking. I gotta be honest, since we are talking about eggs, am I the only one that doesn't like runny yolk? I know that's what like people do the most. It's like what they idealize in the cooking shows of like, please cook me an egg that the yolk is like yellowish and, you know, like a yellow ocean once you open the egg with a knife. I know that's what is promoted as like the most refined and superb egg in your life. I would rather have the egg boiled or like, you know, not runny at all. Am I really the only person that feels like that? I probably am, because all of the rest of the world is like, runny yolk is my life, you know? I don't like that. Yeah, Monaco, it's the second one. If we do this, there is no turning back. We'll be branded traitors by the agency. I'm surprised the plot evolved like that so fast, like... After the second mission, we are already fighting against the agency, like, seriously? No more development in here before that? You don't like it super runny? I don't like it runny at all. I can eat it, don't get me wrong, it's just that I prefer well done eggs, if that makes any sense. I hope I remembered it right, like there are all of those words for like meat, right? I don't know if I remember it right, but I don't like the runny yolk. You're okay with a partially cooked yolk and then some runny yolk? I would go for cooked yolk. I do prefer a proper hard boil. Me too, Victor. At least once, right, man? At least once we agree on something here. Let's go. Wait, the Monopoly guy doesn't wear a monocle? Is that the Mandela effect getting to my brain right now? Are you kidding me? That could be a Mandela effect, right? Wait! No, never. Wait, it depends. Unless it's... Oh my god, he doesn't. It is fan art. Yeah, there are some pictures that he wears a monocle, but it's fan art. Holy shit, I fell for the Mandela effect. It's working on my brain. I'm lost. I lost. They're controlling my brain already. It's a conspiracy! I started this stream today saying that it was a conspiracy. It is! It is happening. That's the proof. I was already under the Mandela effect without my knowledge, or like without my agreement. Just like this GameSpot as well. They have been saying we can't let them control our brains. I know, right, Alyssa? They are getting it already done. They are brainwashing it little by little, starting with the monocle guy. Or like the lack of monocle in the Monopoly guy. Jesus, I would... If that was a trivia question, I would fail for it. It is, isn't it? Mr. Peanut? Who's Mr. Peanut? Who's Mr. Peanut? Like, it's just a peanut butter brand? That's why I don't know him, because peanut butter is not a big thing in Brazil, right? Yeah, he has one. Although he never officially had one. Wait, on the pictures I saw that he had one. That's how I like it. Or I like him if fried. Oh, they are peanut snacks? It's not peanut butter? Oh, those are the eggs then, I see. No, I would rather have them like fully cooked. Actually, my favorite eggs recipe, to be honest, is like scrambled. Scrambled eggs is my life. Or omelette. Omelette is also fantastic. And then maybe a third place goes to boiled eggs. If we do this, there is no turning back, okay? Amen. Sean, you can count on me. The exit on the south end of the main floor leads to the vault. I will upload some false data to the server to try to divert as much security as possible. We can do this, let's go. Okay, we are fighting the agency. Simple like that. I think we are going to get caught. Wait, we are going to get caught. There we go. Victor, what the heck? Oh, the chapter 3 is actually fight the power. Let's do it. I still don't understand why is the second chapter's name like memories from the past. Wait a minute. I think I know it now. Oh my god. It was not a nightmare. Alyssa was an experiment in the past. The images she had happened to her in the past. And then now she's kind of portraying as like, I gotta do something so people don't have robots on their brains, but actually there is a robot on her brain right now because she probably got an experiment in the past. I think a plot twist will happen towards Alyssa now. She's like going to do this, but then at some point someone will try to control her brain and then stop it from happening. This is a little bit like Final Fantasy VII as well. I will not enter into spoilers. Let me not say it, but this reminds me of Final Fantasy VII a little bit too. It turns out that our taste in eggs is the same as long as it doesn't involve pizza. That's where I win, right, Victor? That's my like ending point to this score right here. By the way, Victor, since you are back to Donkey Kong 64, are you trying to 100% it? And Ultras and also Death Dog, what are you guys playing lately? I think Death Dog was playing, what was it again? Was it a survivor game or something? Ultras has been playing Final Fantasy IV. Oh, by the way, I was telling Death Dog that I was back to reading. I gotta admit that I kinda stopped reading for the past days, but I will still go back to the book, to the Game of Thrones third book. Yes, I definitely will finish that book. I just couldn't read that much in the past days because of everything that's going on in my life. Not necessarily, more just playing. Yeah, man, 100% in Donkey Kong 64 is going to be very hard. There is a vending machine. I can't interact with it? Or am I pressing the wrong button? No, it is the right button. So, since I was talking about Sonic's real original name, another name that I learned its meaning this week was the movie Jumanji's original. Wait, it was the meaning behind the movie Jumanji. Do you guys know what it meant? The word Jumanji? Or Jumanji, I'm not sure how is it in English. Jumanji means many effects. It could be something good for you to say in case you were under drugs, right? I'm having Jumanji right now. Oh yeah, that reminds me of a new slang I learned in English as well. I'm feeling Gucci. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever said that before, but I learned that this week too, that there is a slang for feeling good that you can say just Gucci. At first I felt it was like I'm feeling classy, like the meaning, because Gucci is the brand. But it feels it's like good. Can't I go up again? But yeah, I learned that Jumanji means many effects in a language that's called Zulu. Jumanji was one of those movies that traumatized me as a kid. Still today I have images from the CGI spiders, giant spiders they had on that movie. I hate them. I will see how far you can get before you get bored of it. Wait, do you think you would get bored of Donkey Kong 64? I mean, honestly, I don't think it is as great as Banjo games. But it's still a good game, right? We still don't have cough medicine for this guard. Eventually, for sure. Yes, we have talked to all of them. News update. Skybreaker CEO dismisses concerns that dangerous tech designs were stolen in hostage incident and thanks API for swift rescue. Wait a minute, what? They are talking about mission number 1. Banjo is a bit better design, but DK64 is pretty awesome too. I will give you my honest opinion. I don't think that Banjo is a bit better design. I think it's much better design. I prefer Banjo way more than DK64, especially Banjo Tooie. Banjo Tooie is still one of the most well-planned games I have seen in my life. Like the interconnected worlds in there. Dude, it is a one in a lifetime experience to play it. It's like I imagine that the way people felt when they were playing Zelda Breath of the Wild was how I felt by playing Banjo Tooie. Man, it was so magical to be jumping into words and getting spoiled about what's to come and everything. I just wish that maybe they had better ways on like working with the connected quests, like interworld connected quests that you gotta go between different worlds to complete a quest. Maybe they could work on that in a better way, but exploring Banjo Tooie was magical. It was unique and super rewarding. Well, I have yet to complete DK, so... But I doubt, or I don't doubt that to be correct. Were you ever spoiled on DK, or can I talk about DK? The factory above serves as cover for our base and an extra layer of defense, if you know what I mean. And I also can't go there. So just like Banjo Tooie, I could never beat DK64. And there is a specific reason for that. You knew very little about DK64, I will not say it then. Yes, what I was going to say was like late game stuff. I'm not saying it. But yes, this one late game stuff did not allow me to beat DK64. I had only seen the first level and not... Oh, okay, that's cool, you're going to have a lot of... It's going to be a complete, full experience for you, for sure. There will be some nice surprises. So, give me follow-ups as you are progressing in DK64, man. Wait, there were more people here before, right? Yeah, there wasn't many here before that even talked about this woman's cyber eye. I guess now people went to work. Let me turn off the air conditioner. By the way, I bought a new game this week. It's a game that I was looking forward to it for a while, although I may not play it that soon. I was just waiting for it to get back to its lowest price ever record on Steam. I'm talking about Bridge Constructor Portal. Yes, it's another construction bridge game or bridge construction game. But it's Portal now. So maybe it's a little bit more fun, different, but I don't plan on playing it that soon. But it's definitely something I want to check in the future. And I'm sure there will. It has that typical rare platformer feel and style, so I'm sure some of that styles will surprise you or will be there in too. You know something that I was thinking, Victor, and I can also bring up another topic in here. I was watching the Netflix adaptation for Cuphead. So there is the game Cuphead, and then they made a cartoon, right? A cartoon series of Cuphead, and then I finished watching it this week. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a very good way they came up with to like get the characters from the game and somehow little by little presenting them on the show. I wasn't sure how they would do it because the game is very different from the show, but they still were able to find ways of like getting the characters from the game. I appreciated that, so it adds more. Um, it makes the series more loyal, right, to the franchise itself, and not only I don't know coming up with new characters and stuff just for the series. No, it's actually using the characters from the game, even though the game is like completely different than what goes on the show. But something that I realized is that Cuphead has a little bit on the same charm that Rare has. And I realized that maybe in the last episodes, which by the way, the last one is my favorite, they got the character Miss Chalice, which is going to be in the next DLC for Cuphead. I loved Miss Chalice. Like Miss Chalice in the cartoon has a fantastic personality, and I felt like I was watching a Disney movie on the episode she was part in. So I would recommend Cuphead, the show, especially for the last episode, which has Miss Chalice. She was fantastic, like super fun character. But anyway, I realized there is a connection or something in common between Rare and like the company behind Cuphead or the creators of Cuphead because they follow the same idea of like making charismatic characters out of objects, out of things. It's basically the Rare idea of like, oh, let's just add cute eyes to those, I don't know, uh, to this pencil, for example, and then it's going to be a fantastic character. It's the same, like every character or almost every character. No, every character, right? No, never mind. There are animals in there too. Yeah, animals and objects. There aren't humans. Yes, I can't remember humans in the show. But you know, I felt this connection between both. They both just add eyes and sometimes other trademarks from faces and you know people to non-living things, and they make them cool. They make them cute and charismatic. Yes, I noticed that connection. Add some Google eyes or googly eyes and that's it. And it's suddenly a fun character. I agree. It's sometimes it's simple, right? The magic can be done very simply. The LCS found an old mixtape in my room and now I'm being docked 2 months pay. I knew I should have thrown it away. I didn't even like the guy who gave it to me. Okay, so this down here is the new area, but before getting there, can I buy new weapons? I can. Yeah, let's see what they have in here. Wait, I have all of those, right? They don't have new things? They don't have new things, that sucks. Well, chapter 3, here we go. Oh yeah, also speaking on games, have you guys ever heard of a game called... Is this... Is this Ghost right now, Ultras? This is sounding like Ghost. What the heck? This is totally like the songs Ultras showed me from the new Ghost album. By the way, Victor, did you hear the new Ghost album? Because that was all that I saw on Twitter, I think 2 days ago? Yes, I think 2 days ago. Dude, this is a lot like Ghost. I hope Ultras is listening to this. And once again, another banger out of nowhere. I even forgot what I was going to say. Who cares, right? We have a banger here. Oh, I can't go there, but there is a chest. We are not fighting humans, are we? Oh my god, are we fighting humans? You are not supposed to be here, agents. Jamming protocol has been initiated, nobody's calling for help. You have made a terrible mistake, a mistake you are not walking away from. We are fighting humans. Oh yes, we also got some new attacks from that boss fight. Huh, what else do I have here then? Okay. Can I see their HP? That's a spy. He has 360 HP. He has a license to kill. And then the secret agent, she's a little bit stronger. And she's a proud member of the Agency of Peace and Intelligence. I mean, I'm not expecting this to be a very hard fight though. He got system crash, deals damage, inflicts rust. On machines, right? And then Sean didn't get anything new. Never mind, she got pick me up gun. Okay, it's like a healing attack. That was a horrible decision, like you are almost going to die, or you're about to die. Why are you raising your style up? Wait. Never mind, they have better defenses than what I was thinking. But then I got them. Sean finished this with 2 HP. Yeah, now let's go for laser. He got to his hyper, but the only attack he can do damage is this one now. I just obliterated that woman. Holy shit, Dave. And then I was like criticizing Dave a little bit last time because he was always the first one to die. What a comeback, what a comeback. Okay, we got this. And we are fighting humans, huh? I can't believe we're actually doing this. Getting cold feet? No, let's just hurry up and get out of here. Oh yes, I remembered what I was going to say. Man, this song is for real. I was going to say that I'm thinking about the next game. And I still don't know if I want to jump into Golden Sun yet. Because there are 2 games that could be fun for me to be playing as well. And they are, again, 2 indie games. So I don't know if you guys have heard of those, but I have Blossom Tales, and Blossom Tales seems to be somewhat an adventure game like Zelda. That's why I want to play it. It's going to have a lot of things in common with Zelda, like 2D Zelda. Or Bug Fables. I really want to play Bug Fables because this one is a lot like Paper Mario 64, and I love Paper Mario 64. So I'm really thinking towards those two games to come next, and then not Golden Sun. Yes, we are killing co-workers in here. The red gate polarity is now reversed. What about the green gates? I'm still surprised we are doing this quick. I was even thinking that maybe this could be a matter of choice, of like you know, I was thinking this game could have multiple endings, and then maybe you could get to this one decision of like facing the agency as a possible path for a different ending. But no, it seems that this is like every ending we'll get in here, or we will have this going on, you know? It's a must. So this is going to change the blue lights or blue doors polarity. Man, this song rocks. Oh, there is even purple. Finally the green doors. But is this some sort of puzzle? Oh. No, let me open the green doors and then I will backtrack. Oh, but I will need to come back there from here, right? And this is indeed a puzzle, yes. But I can finally get to this chest. A Falsy Tama, that's a weapon for Chon. Anything Tama, like Tamagotchi, is a weapon for Chon. Equip. Falsy Tama. Autofocus. Gaze into the Nagatama and unlock your potential. Yeah, let's go for it. What the heck is this? I have a shield called Beast that gives me the ability to murder and then unleash the beast. So now, where do I need to go? Do I need to go up here? Have I been there? I haven't. So I need to change the polarity of this red door or this red computer. And then now that the green door is open, I can go up there, right? A speed stick, a new weapon for Alyssa. Maybe this is why the shop was not selling new things, because we are finding all of the new equipment around the place. A speed stick. 37. and it goes to 52, it gives me style and it starts hyper? Well, count me in. I think I have been here too. What was that? Intruders! You're hearing things, get back to work. Can I avoid them? But I don't want, I want to fight. I will fight. Yes, I just got a weapon that causes murder. Murder mode on. I knew I wasn't imagining things, it's intruders. She does start hyper. Nice. Wait, this is... What? Is this the ability of her new weapon? Why am I targeting everybody? I'm really not sure why was Chon's attack multi-attack, or like why was it into everybody but without using focus, you know? Sabri saying, well, you don't need to worry about this agency anymore, hence you have killed everybody in there. I know, but this agency was supposedly trying to fight the terrorists that we went there in a mission for, right? Or we were in a mission for it. If we kill the agency, that means we will need to take care of the terrorists ourselves, I guess. Isn't that too much though? For like 3 people? I mean, probably with time you'll get more party members, but... I'm not only surprised that we got this plot twist right away of like, let's fight the agency, but on the other hand, this is actually great because I have no idea what would come up next to keep this game going with its plot, you know? Like, if such a major thing is happening right now, what else is going to happen later? That's actually exciting. Oh my god, somebody's saying, doesn't that mean that you are the terrorist? That's relatable. Or that's debatable as well, like... We were the terrorists, maybe, right? Because we were there to... I mean, I said we were the terrorists in case the agency really is the terrorist, or it really is a terrorist. So I said we were because we were part of the agency, but we are not anymore. But I'm lost, I don't know what is the plan of this agency, and I'm still feeling a little bit that we jumped into conclusions too fast. And then Alisa had that nightmare of like having some sort of robot into her brain that now I think was something that really happened, especially thanks to the chapter's name. What if, Subaru, if actually someone is boycotting us, like boycotting Alisa, and then maybe even Dave is behind this? for us to destroy this agency when this agency was actually good? What if that's what's going on, like? And then for that, we would be ourselves the terrorists, yes, like you said. What if someone is controlling us to do this? Because I was not fully convinced that was already the time for this. For 1 second, the animation fooled me. The pistol from Chon showed like next to this agent right here. Wait, to this agent, and then targeted the second agent, right, the other one. I felt they were shooting themselves for a second. It could be that too, right, Subaru? Were you convinced about that story? That the agency would jump into something bad already? I don't know. I mean, I suspect of them, but we weren't so certain about their evil doings. Also, couldn't there be someone in the agency that could, like, help us out under those circumstances? Like, not all of the agency would be corrupted, right? Like, probably it's just the boss or, you know, some head people. But then here we are fighting against nobody. Wait, fighting against no matter who shows up in front of us. I don't know, this is odd. You see, once again the pistol did that. It showed right next to the agent or the agent's hand. I mean, this is fantastic for my grinding. The fights are not too bad and we are getting lots of HP. Wait, XP. This is a storage security. What your status? Do you copy? It's the basic idea of this technology is too dangerous, it's better to destroy it at any cost. Yeah, this actually reminds me of the war that we are going on or going through right now. And in one of the talks with a friend that was sad about the war, he was saying that there is like a paradox of a nuclear bomb. And the paradox is that the nuclear bomb is very dangerous, like extremely dangerous. Although having a nuclear bomb in your country or in your territory protects you a lot from like the other country's attacks. For the fact you have a nuclear bomb, you know. So it's insane how something super dangerous gives you safety. So I remembered my friend telling me that. What is your status? Do you copy? Should we say something? We're totally fine in here, just a blaster malfunction, nothing to see. We got this A-OK under control. That's mad? Do you think that, dog? Yeah, right. I just was talking to him about the war and we were also thinking about what if like we got a nuclear bomb in Brazil and stuff, because there are some politicians in here that would support that idea, and we are actually in a year of elections this year. And I was telling my friend that I understand what he's saying, that yes, a nuclear bomb in Brazil could somehow give some protection, quotation mark, to Brazil. But Brazil's problem, in my opinion, is that we are not ready to like take care of a nuclear bomb, for example. No way. We have no intelligence for that. I doubt that the government would be able to like give certain proper to a nuclear bomb here. I think we would mess it so badly that we would end up exploding the bomb on our own territory. That's how much I trust the politicians we have in here and the decisions they make in here. So there is also that fact for me to be against this idea. But I understood what he said about other countries being scared of your country because your country would have a nuclear bomb. Although, on the other hand, unfortunately, in this war against Ukraine and Russia, or in this war of them two fighting themselves, Russia went like right away to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and also other areas too to take control over them. So there was no idea of like, oh, we are protected because we have nuclear bombs, right? Not at all. Russia went there, took it from them, and it's our now. So yeah, Brazil would like mess with it badly very quickly. Yeah, we are totally fine. What? Who is this? Alert! Sending the... Stop playing with the computer, we have work to do. No, I wanna explore, let me check things out. I'm not sure if I should enter this. Oh wait, I can't. Yes, I think I checked everything, I just need to go left. I mean, not left, right. I'm going right. Oh my god, now this is giving me Final Fantasy VII flashbacks. Don't you agree, Subaru? Do you get the flashback that I'm getting? Especially if you combine this to the first mission we had in this game. But this right here looks a lot Final Fantasy VII. Even the angle and the perspective. Okay, more robots. They are probably weak to water, right? No, they are weak to wind. It's the I Spy. Yeah, this is exactly the Mako reactor, isn't it? You find this enemy to be quite disarming. Interesting way to describe it. I don't have wind attacks. But I'm using my hyper, so this is going to be strong. Let's try the system crash. There we go, the rust effect worked. So maybe now I should focus on the other targets. I still don't understand why is my torch hitting everybody. It gotta be the accessory or the new weapon. I don't get it. Oh, that's why they are quite disarming. By the way, is the stream okay? I'm getting some high activity of my computer. But I think I'm okay, right? I'm not disconnected. So I believe that breaks down my attack, right? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to motivate my party members. Let's give it to Dave. And then now you cause the damage that Alisa couldn't. Subway is saying that by Russia's point of view, that every other country is like getting together. So Russia doesn't care about taking risks. What I heard as well, Subro, was that they are at a point that they think that they went so far on this that they can't go back, you know. I mean, it does sound like that for real because there are so many sanctions and conditions that were thrown at them for what they have started as consequences. that yes, like going back now will make everything they try to do worthless, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that their situation can't get worse even. So they are trying to find alternatives for the problems that they are getting regarding the other countries not helping them out. Like I said, an example that shocked me a little bit, that they are even allowing piracy to happen in there, since some companies are not allowing their services to be sold or to be actually part of the country anymore. So they're like, oh, okay, use VPN, use fake IP, or like download whatever you want from other places and use it in here. They are kind of opening up their laws for that. No, I'm not going to waste his hyper void on that one. You see? Man, this void combined with hyper is very good. Can this kill? There we go. Yes, you were attacking Alyssa because... Perfect. My hypers are amazing right now. Oh wait, MAD is like an acronym for what we were talking about with nukes. It stands for Mutually Assured Destruction. I see, I thought you were saying that was like MAD as like crazy, you know? So it's Mutually Assured Destruction. Yeah, that's why they wouldn't attack each other. Although that's not what's going on right now for Rio. And they are not even taking precautions, right? They almost could have caused a nuclear event in Ukraine. It was like a pun. Yes, I couldn't get the second meaning. Unfortunately I didn't know that. But yes, that was a good pun. We got an ability called Fortify. It boosts the party defenses. Let me ask you something, Death Dog. Wait a minute. This song reminds me of the Wii Sports team. Like that previous part. I felt like Wii Sports was going to be played right now. Did you hear the Wii Sports feeling in there? Also, I got an ability called Throw. It inflicts enrage, it lowers area attack damage and all damage. Man, I felt so heart-whelmed with that tiny part of Wii Sports there. I'm crazy for Wii Sports, as you guys could see already, but I was not expecting that on this song. But anyway, that apart, Death Dog, refresh my memory about this, but do you also really like the 2D Zelda games? Or do you only prefer, or like you have a better preference, or you prefer the 3D ones like Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, Ocarina, Breath of the Wild? You like both? Yeah, because when I was thinking about which game I should be playing next, one of the games that I'm thinking is a game that's a lot like the 2D Zelda games, like A Link to the Past, for example, and it's called Blossom Tales. And there is even going to have a sequel for that game if it's not already out. So it's a recommendation for you. Maybe you should check it out on Steam. Blossom Tales. But also another one that I learned on this recent itch.io bundle. I don't know if you guys have seen it before or have you heard of it. But itch.io has been getting funds to help Ukraine on the war, and they came up with like a $10 bundle for almost 1,000 games. And then I was browsing the games they had in there, and there was another game in there that reminded me a lot of Zelda 2. which was Lena's Inception. Let me type this in here. Lena's Inception. So after I learned about this other game too, that looks a lot like A Link to the Past and 2D Zelda games, I got very curious to play it. So that's another Zelda-like recommendation that I'm giving you, man. I still haven't played those games, but from what I have seen and also from a little bit of what I have heard, they are good games that could give you a Zelda experience. There is a third one. I haven't played all of them though, but A Link to the Past is probably your favorite, seriously. My 2D Zelda favorite game is Minish Cap. I really liked Minish Cap, and then second place probably would give it to Link's Awakening. Even though I suffered because Link's Awakening is very hard, I had a lot of fun. And speaking on which, there is a third recommendation game that looks a lot like Zelda games, especially Link's Awakening. The graphics is like a lot like Link's Awakening. It's called, how is it called? Wire something. I don't get the name, give me a second. Wirewalk? I think it's Wirewalk. Wirewalk. Yes, Wirewalk. Wirewalk, yes. It even has some symbols on its name. Wait, can you see it? Yeah, right there. It has like a parenthesis or something, but Wirewalk would give you the result. It's like a rip-off of Link's Awakening. I'm super curious to play it at some point as well. So anybody here that likes Zelda games, those are 3 ideas for you to, I don't know, try at some point. There should be like a games by Ukrainian developers bundle, that would be cool. Oh, just by the Ukrainian developers? I know for sure that other platforms are also kind of doing some sort of special bundles for this situation, but I don't think they were Ukrainian developers, were they? Maybe Humble Bundle did one. You like the Oracle games? I like the Oracle games, but I had some problems with both of them. Especially with Oracle of Ages. Oracle of Ages was extra hard for me. You never beat Minish Cap? That's funny because Minish Cap is the one that I think you would like the most, as it gave me the same feelings of Wind Waker regarding exploring and completing side quests, you know. Stalker and Metro are... Oh, are they? Those are very popular games. I didn't know that at all. But this one bundle that I mentioned on itch.io, it is a very good bundle actually. There are games in there that I really wanted to play. I think I will not. I won't get it because I still have other games to play right now. Although at some point I will definitely need to buy the one games that, or I need to buy some of the games of that bundle myself later. But I ended up deciding to not get it, because I do have other games to play, and I also have other... I don't know if I want to spend $10 on that, because it's like 50 reais. So... I think I'll save it for later. But if you can, like, go for it, it's looking amazing. It has many good games. It's just that I don't want to spend more on games, basically. Especially on another platform than Steam, right? On Steam I at least had 10 reais of credits that I used to buy the Bridge Construction Portal game, which was only for like 2 reais today. You need to stop buying new games too? Yeah, right? I mean, at least I buy them only when they have their lowest recorded ever price, you know, when they get to a very good deal. You also have many games to play, me too, man. Which is always great, like, it's better than not having anything to play, isn't it? Oh yeah, and by the way, there is a fantastic game going, right? There is a fantastic game going for free right now on Epic Games. It is Cities Skylines. That game is amazing. I want to try it at some point. I don't know if I'll be able to be good at it because I suck at SimCity 3000, for example. But that game looks fun, it looks great, and it's for free right now to redeem. Oh, you have been playing way too much Smash? Did you hear that my Smash Brothers cartridge for the 3DS stopped working? I think it's because it got old, but even though I tried cleaning it, I even opened the cartridge to like see if there was something wrong inside of it. Yeah, my 3DS can't recognize the game anymore. It says game error or something. So yeah, out of the 3DS cartridge games that I had in here that I couldn't be tested and playing for the amount of time that I didn't have my new 3DS, this one, because I had only the regular 3DS that got lots of problems and I can't play anything I want in here because the analog stick is stuck on the upper position, the L trigger is broken, anyway, many problems. So like Smash, Mario Kart, some Mario games as well, like the Super Mario 3D Land. I couldn't play those games in here, so many years passed by until I got myself a new 3DS, or a 3DS XL actually, and then I could go back to those games, but my Smash Brothers did not work. Yes, me too, I only buy things on sale actually. You know what I'm worried about though? We are having the war right now, and it is already affecting on prices, right, around the world, especially the prices for fuel and gas. Maybe it's only in Brazil, but I'm thinking it's going to be worldwide. I'm scared by when we get to May, which is when I'm going to buy my new computer, the prices will be like over the top. You know, like all of the electronics and prices and parts will be extremely expensive. I was thinking about that. So I will look for sales and offers and deals, but I'm concerned the war could be, you know, raising the prices for electronics as well, as like transportation will be more difficult thanks to the raise on prices for fuel. The raise on prices for fuel has already impacted the prices for food here in Brazil too. So I'll need to see how is it going to look like later. You have been playing too much Smash? You went on a tournament? How was your progress in there? Oh, gas is getting expensive. There are people, many people actually, that are traveling to Argentina to have their cars filled in there. Because in Brazil the price is like 5 times more. That's the situation in Brazil. People are going to Argentina to have their gas tanks. Now this reminds me of another game as well. Let's see, we're going to floor 348 out of 14,385? How much stuff does the agency keep down here? Oh, we are fighting a Power Ranger? Let's go! I can't believe we got woken up in the middle of the night for emergency patrol duty. What is even the point of patrolling so far into the headquarters? No intruder is making it this far in. I swear to God that our security here sucks because I had no trouble to infiltrate. Warning, enemy detected. So that's the name of the Power Ranger? Spytron? Well, what do you know? We would better get a promotion for taking these guys out. So you did okay in the tournament, nice. You took a game off one of the best players in your city. And you still lost the set since it was best of 5. But last time you played him, last time you played him, he beat, there we go. Last time you played him, he beat you way worse. Okay, so you're kinda learning, you know, and getting used to his strategies. Which were the characters? Like, who was his main and who was yours? You play normally as Young Link and Zelda, right? He plays Villager. He's the best Villager I've seen. Dude, Villager can be the... It's like, I quit, you know? Villager can be super annoying. But if there is a character that can be more annoying than Villager, in my opinion, is Samus. Man, the people that are like very good in Smash that main Samus, I can't do a thing. You are going Young Link, there we go. I'm still grateful that Toon Link was my first ever main. I mean, if you consider when I played Smash Bros. Casually, like when I was younger and a kid, I used to go Mario. Mario was my main because I didn't know or I was not like trying to get better, so let's go Mario. But Toon Link was my first real main, the one that I tried to really get better at. Somebody is saying that we decided to what is the word? I will say it differently. We decided to become traders. But what is the verb for that? Because the verb is not to trade, of course. Yeah, what is the verb for that in English? I'm now completely lost. Betray! Yes, that's the word, Death Dog. I was not going to remember it. Yes, we decided to betray the agency out of nowhere. That's what... Oh, my towel fell. We decided to betray the agency out of nowhere. So we can't really blame the security lack or like the security flaws against ourselves. Yes and no, right? It depends on how is the security here. If the security is to detect anybody, it doesn't matter if we are part or not of the facility because nobody was supposed to be there. That's what they are saying, like, we are fighting you because no one should be here, no matter who was that person. Okay, so the Power Ranger really is the Spytron. The agency doesn't discriminate against non-organics. So he's weak to water and electric because he's a robot. And then that was Dave's last skill? I'm going to save that. Yes, I'm going to save the zap for when he gets to Hyper. So we're saying you are from the company. The company was not expected to defend against itself. Yeah, but... Again, I still think the security could be, you know, more... It could be to more options, including ourselves. Because it's like what they were saying, like no one should be here, no matter what, so... If there is a face that's showing up on the corner, target it. But yeah, in the end, I still think they are surprised because they would be expecting a more clear enemy. $45. Does it go for everybody? It goes. Yeah, so Chon has this ability right now that my first move is multi-target. You know something that I'm feeling or thinking right now? So everybody in my party is almost getting to all of their moves, or at least all of their skills. Even the main character, Alyssa. This game will need to come up with something that will allow them to keep on learning things, right? Either that, or my party is going to completely change. Because don't you think there is no point of like giving all of the possible skills you can learn at early game and then like you keep on battling but you don't get anything else? There is something very off in here. I now have two ideas. But I'm especially thinking that we are going to have a complete party change. Maybe this infiltration will fail. We are going to get captured, and then another character elsewhere will need to come to rescue. And then we'll be grinding that character instead of us. This could be very interesting because in case that's what's going to happen, it doesn't mean that Alyssa is main protagonist of anything in here. Maybe this is one of those games that main protagonists change every time, like Final Fantasy VI, for example, or even Chrono Trigger. Yoda, what's up, man? Yoda is saying that maybe they will evolve, or Subru is saying maybe the game is short. Actually, Gabriel said, I think Gabriel said one of this, I don't know if it was last stream, but one of these days, he said that people normally finish this game in like 8 hours. It could be that, but if it is that short, I'll be disappointed. I'm loving it, but I would expect a little bit more, you know? He still needs to wait one more turn for his hyper, so I'm going to heal him. But if I had to bet on something, I think we are going to get new party members. And something will happen to my current party. Like, probably something bad. Maybe this mission? I have another multi-attack? What the heck? Man, John is so broken with these multi-targeting attacks. Oh my god, and they hate Dave. Subru is saying, what did Sephiroth... Wait. Oh, I mean, Subru is talking about Alyssa, like the female Sephiroth. Subru is saying, what Alyssa said... Wait. Subru is saying... Man, I'm struggling today. Subru is saying that... Do you know what Alyssa said regarding the truth of her origin? Or learning the truth about her origin, if I remember? I don't remember that, to be honest. or like what she was before learning the truth of her origin. I only remember the nightmare now. I don't recall that. Yes, I don't recall anything about Alyssa's past besides the nightmare. Was there something major that I'm missing? And in case there was something major, is it like in the first stream or was it somewhat recent? Never mind! He's actually referring to Sephiroth himself. So what did Sephiroth... oh yeah, I know. Okay, about that I know. Like what Sephiroth was before he learned about his truth, or like what he really was. I mean, Sephiroth was a fighter for good, right? He was somehow hero, or like he worked for saving people for the good. And then he learned what he was. He was an experiment. And then since then, things derailed badly, right? I see, so do you think this could be happening in here as well? Do you really think that we'll be turning evil? I mean, if somebody's turning evil, I would guess Alyssa, but not really because she would choose it. I think she would turn evil for somebody controlling her brain. And then that's not the same as Sephiroth's case. I gotta start recharging myself. Or maybe not, because if Chon can multi-target everybody, she can... Yeah, she can heal... Wait, why can't she heal everyone? She will be able to do it on the next turn. So that's exactly what Saber is thinking. I don't know if you're talking about me, that I have learned everything because there is going to be a plot twist. I do think there is going to be a plot twist that's going to bring us new characters. Because in my opinion it makes no sense for me to, you know, learn all of my possible abilities right away, like... And then I also think that something bad is happening. Maybe that was a waste of my hyper, but that's fine. You see, easy. This is also bringing me back, bringing memories of Team Rocket's hideouts in Pokemon games. Isn't this going to lock me? Oh, it's not. Wait a second, wasn't there a door that had a purple light before too? What if it's open now? Saber is saying that... Wait, can I go up? I can't go up. But yeah, I need to remind myself about that purple door on the upper floor, right? I'm writing it down. So we're saying that you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself becoming the villain. That sounds a lot like a quote from the Glass movie. It's like fragmented glass and it's that trilogy. I don't know if you guys know which one I'm talking about. Yes, I forgot the name of one of the movies. Very good trilogy, by the way. If there is a One Punch Man RPG, then you are at level 99 at the beginning. That could be interesting as well. Why not explore that idea, right? By the way, I was thinking recently about starting One Punch Man. Maybe I can start doing it soon. But I also feel like jumping into the final season of Attack on Titan as soon as the show is over. I also need to watch season 2 of Euphoria, and I also gave up completely on continuing watching Miyaruko-chan. Yes, I watched episode 1 last week, I watched episode 2 like yesterday. It did not get to me at all. I understand that people, after I decided to kind of check what people were talking about the show and how much they were liking it, people have been saying great things about it, like it does get better after half of it, or the plot starts to develop and everything, but it was really not getting to me in any sorts. Like, the horror of it is somewhat horrifying because of the creatures they created, yeah, but it was not, getting to me. The humor neither, the waifu idea and the exaggeration also didn't get to me. And also the episodes were long, like they were 40 minutes long, and it felt like it was slow and more of the same, and it was all about how the main character reacts to the horror things she sees, like the spirits and craziness. I don't know, I was expecting something a little bit different, and I gave up. I gave up on Miyaruko-chan. It's been some time since I gave up right away on, a show or an anime. Never mind, not too long. I also gave up on Food Wars. Food Wars did not get to me for also kind of the same idea, because it was too exaggerated, too forced on, like, sexualized as well, and nothing past that, Oh, that was actually a quote from the Batman, which, by the way, I gotta watch the recent or most recent Batman movie. Have you heard of Demon Slayer? Of course. It's like, even without watching it, I think I'm close to learn its Japanese name even, on how much it gets promoted. It's like Kimetsu no Yoyaba or something. Yeah, people have been loving it so much. Like, it's one of the... if I'm not mistaken, the Demon Slayer movie was able to beat Spirited Away in tickets in Japan. On how big this anime or franchise is, right? But I still haven't jumped into it. I will, at some point I will. Oh wait, those are the things we got from the lab, right? Last stream. Yeah, so we gotta just go for it. The prototypes. Should we test them out to see if they will work? I have a really bad feeling about this. Yes, of course not. Who exactly were you planning on testing them on? Okay, Dave, be careful about your jokes, right? Let's get out of here before we get caught. Who's that? Is that Sue? It is Sue, our boss. Maybe I should say Xbox. Not Xbox. X-Boss. Oh my god, why did I say Xbox, right? Okay, you're Xbox, then we are PlayStation. I mean, I wish I could be Team Nintendo, but... RIP Nintendo, right? Sue, are you here to stop us? I heard the report of intruders in the section and thought it might be you. I take it you found some incriminating evidence in your search, Dave. I swear to you, I need to go back on the VOD to understand how were we so certain that the agency was, you know, evil. I mean, I understand they probably were going to do some bad things, but I don't know if I would jump like that right away into that conclusion. I don't know. Fight Xbox, I will. What if he's actually tough, right? Just like the previous boss. More than that, what if he uses the technology on himself to become immortal or something like that? The technology is part of something called the Lumina Project. It allows for total control of a person's mind. I see. Wait, what if actually Sue is going to join us? Because like I said, maybe not everybody in this company is bad. Only the guy we heard the freaking conversation from. Well, we can't allow that. Can we count me? Sue is a party member? Are you sure this is an act of treason? And then the company or the agency deals with treason by killing them, right? Remember what that woman said in the first stream? And I was like, holy shit, maybe this agency is not as good? Treason for the greater good is no treason, and I can't let you have all of the fun. I was not expecting that, but let's go. Someone's approaching. Do I have 4 party members now, or do I need to replace the party? Oh, it is a director. Why bother returning the device if you were just going to come back and steal it? It's because we heard your conversation, director, still, even though I gotta repeat it later, so I can understand it. Director! No, don't answer that. I already know. Astria got to you. Oh, he thinks we are terrorists now. And I had such high hopes for you. He's just like Chuck Norris. And you too, bodies of Zovisky? Although I should have suspected something when you were so insistent that Echo not participate in the Roman mission. What about that though? I mean, I remember the situation. We were like, oh, let's have John and Dave to join Alyssa because Echo is kinda hard to deal with, so... You knew what we would find in the Romo lab, didn't you? You actually intend to use mind control technology on our own people. You are dealing with forces far beyond your comprehension. Return the device before things get worse for you. What do you intend to do with this power? I shall create a better world for humanity. The evil within man's heart will be eradicated. Peace and intelligence shall prevail. I see, so his plan is to finish or end freedom of choice, right? People won't be able to choose anything for their lives. And I won't let anyone stand in my way. When I was watching that part when they were kinda showing his conversation, I felt like he was, I don't know, going to come up with a medicine by using that technology that could heal people's brain damage, you know, stuff like that. Not really control their brains. Although, I mean, it is not that surprising that this place has shady business. But at first, not at first, but after that conversation, I did not jump straight into that. Anyway, and I won't let anyone stand in my way. What? You think an old man like you can defeat us all by your lonesome? Very funny. Good point. How about I even the odds a little? Minions or robots? Or monsters? Or what is that even? Mecha? You monster, using the sacred arts to summon a living thing? It's barbaric. Using the sacred arts? So he summoned like a mecha spirit? If you manage to survive, I will be waiting in my office, ready to accept your surrender. What if Summer is actually right? What if this game is very short and I'm close to beat it? We can't let him get away with this. Come on, Alyssa, let's put this beast out of its misery. And Sue, right? So that's the Spectral Dragon. No, guys, no, wait a minute. This game is not that short, and I will tell you why. We have elements that we still haven't... I mean, maybe Sue has a different element, but we still have to get somebody that knows wind attacks, that knows rock or earth attacks, like on that symbol right there. Its life ripped from its body by Dominic Steele's dark magic. Unless the wind user or rock user are in the DLC or like in the post-game. Some is saying this is like a green dragon for Sephiroth kill. Wait, what was that one reference? I was actually thinking on Yu-Gi-Oh! He reminded me of some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion card. Like the metal black dragon, wait, red eyes black dragon, yeah, something like that. Is the Rust like 100% accurate? Oh my god, look at his attacks! Face punch? Sue has all of the attacks ready already. It damage and inflicts disarm. Feint, it damage. And it gets bonus damage next turn, you can reuse. Bolo Punch, I love that name because bolo in Portuguese, actually pronounced as bolo, is cake. So it's like the cake punch. Yeah, bolo punch. It causes damage, of course. If all of his attacks are punches, saying that it causes damage is worthless or unnecessary. It gets extra style if the enemy is defeated. He has an uppercut. Oh, never mind. The last one is just taunting. And he uses the taunt to recharge. He has counter. And then I was thinking that Sean was the martial artist in here, huh? It gets counter-attacked when hit. Showboat, that's a weird name. It adds one hyper bonus up. And rock solid, wait, but it's not a rock attack, right? No, never mind, it gains the earth element. Okay, so this guy is closer to Zangief than what I thought. He has our items, and do you have a program? 3! He has hide. Good, that's a very useful program. We had solid stance. It self buffs and increases defense. And we have block. It has a strong defend and recharges abilities. This is better than the taunt. It looks like green toothpaste to me. It is, right? It is. I'm actually sad that the toothpaste that I'm using right now is not the one that's green with gel. It's like the Colgate. Colgate, right? That's its name in English. Colgate Whitening or something. It's okay, but it's not the one that I prefer, which is the one that has the green gel. Somebody's saying that there is a battle on Mount Nibelheim where there is a green dragon. I don't remember that. And only Sephiroth has enough power to cause damage. Yes, I was thinking that I needed to go back to Final Fantasy VI, maybe I need to go back to Final Fantasy VII as well. Anyway, let's have our first attack from Sue. This arm is good, so let's go for this. And then next, I'm going to boost everybody's defenses. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that I will lose this fight? And also, what if this is a fight that we can't win? That could also be the case, right? Like a fight where we must lose to it so plot can progress. I don't know why I was feeling that something bad would happen to us. Maybe it is in this fight. I'm still waiting for Dave's hyper. So for now... Oh, by the way, what is the Enviro hack changing here? It is on us. Is it a healing? No, it is curing up. Okay, finally Dave got to his hyper. Someone thinks that I will win. If this is like going to give us a loss thanks to plot progression, somebody probably would die to open the way. Oh my god, Sabu is thinking people will die here. I was thinking on like we would get arrested or something, you know. But there could be deaths, that's for sure. You know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a risk. No, wait a minute. Go for laser. Okay, Subaru. Wait. Okay, the dragon is weak to earth, so let's gain the earth element, right? Okay, so now I need to prepare myself to heal. So we are going to start recharging. Man, Hyper Void is the strongest attack I have. Wait, what? Oh my god, that was very strong. Okay, so on Dave's next turn we go for Zap, because he's going to have the Hyper. Let's go for a System Crash. And then... maybe this can help. Oh my god! Dave, thank goodness you have a healing ability. How much is left? Okay, he's almost dead. I will use the Briefer. No, actually never mind. I can't use that on others. But I can block a hit, right? Use that on Sue. And Sue, you gotta... This recharges his abilities. But I kinda wanna finish this. So defense break. The last thing I used was the defense buff, right? But she should recharge. Okay, we're still here, but Dave is almost... Oh my god, Dave is going to die, guys. But that's fine, we can still kill him. That's Dave's final attack. Thank you so much, Dave. Don't worry, your sacrifice won't be for nothing, I hope. Now, Hyper Laser. Perfect. And then, Faint, right? For the win, I hope? There we go. Dave, unfortunately, you are always the first to die. But your sacrifice was worth, you see? No new abilities, no new abilities. We got in the zone. It defends 25%, recharges, gains style, and loses style when hurt. But is this a... Wait a second. What if you can customize the abilities? By the way, did you notice Sue's pose? Oh, I got an achievement. It's the Rogue Agent. Sue's pose was awesome when he won. Not many people would be able to face down a summon of that power. I see I placed my trust in the right people. Sorry to cut things short, but we really need to be getting out of here. It's the classic, like, he's dead, but he's fine. I can tell you who was like that in my life. Do you remember Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, the Death Lord? Zidane as well. That's when I learned about such a thing, Summer. And you as well, since you were the one that named Zidane is dead. He's dead, but he's okay. They'll be expecting you to intercept a ship and try to leave the planet. The hangar will be well guarded. However, if we were to take the surface elevator up ahead and make our way through the surface factory, we could just walk out the front door. That could work. I'm familiar with the slums of the surface around the agency. I think I could find us a safe place to lay low. Do you remember the dad, right? And then, I will remember. Oh my god. Wait, we had Vivi, we had Zidane, we had Aiko, we had... that last party member with A. Freya? Was it Freya? Yeah, I was trying to remember Freya's name. Yeah, Freya was amazing. Yes, I forgot the name of the last party member. Something. And then there was also Dagger, or like Mithril. Man, I love having Sue in my party now. Let's save, of course. And let me check everything, because Dave got... he got more than what he can carry, so... But it's not in here. What? Was it for Sue? No, I'm pretty sure it was Dave's abilities. It is not in here. You see, that's why we were attacking everybody right away. It's because the Fositama gives her autofocus. Yes, I suspect that something was wrong in there. He has the protector. And his accessory is a freaking tie! How classy! It's the dad tie even! A common Father's Day gift? That's cute! But what the heck? I did get an ability. Where is it? It was troll, right? They are trolling with me. I have no idea, but I swear to God he got an ability. Oh, Amaranth! I forgot, oh my god, I forgot even about Kina and Steiner. Steiner was actually one of my favorites as well. But yeah, Amaranth was the name I couldn't remember. Man, Kina, right? Kina was so crazy. Oh wait, now that I'm back in here, maybe the purple door will be open. Yeah, this door. That's exactly where I should be going, it seems. But just to double check that I'm not missing anything. Although I don't know if I'll be able to kind of finish this place exploration tonight. But let's see how far I can get. If we go back this way, we'll get caught. Let's escape to the factory. Okay, so we gotta go up there. If there is a way to unequip, wait. I think I can only change the location of... Oh! Okay, so the ability I got was a different way for resting. Yeah, in the zone is a better resting, it seems. Let me check everybody's resting. Yes, we have vigilance. I can give him rest. But taunt is better. Yeah. Okay, so that's the answer. Thank you, Subaru, for not giving up and making me go back, because I wouldn't find that easily. This is a little bit like Among Us as well, right? Like this area. Can you believe that I still haven't played Among Us? And I swear to God, I'm pretty sure I would be so bad at Among Us. Especially if I get the imposter. What is in here then? More elevators! By the way, Subaru, did you see or have I mentioned this one game that's getting the composers of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross to its development? I forgot its name now because it's been some weeks since I got to the news, but it is a game about Sun and Moon. Like the two main characters, they use attacks based on like the Sun and the Moon, and then they combine themselves to use Eclipse attacks. I forgot what was the name of the game, but I was very excited to play it too. It is not your style. Wait, what was I... Oh, Among Us? I mean, it's not that I wouldn't try it, but I'm pretty sure I would not be a good player. I don't think I would be a good imposter to like... create situations to say that I'm not an imposter, you know? I don't know if I would be able to... what is the word? I forgot the word now. To bluff, there we go. I don't know if I would be able to bluff. The API factory is mostly just cover for the agency underground. Still, it's not without its defenses when needed. Warning, warning, intruders, all units on full alert. And there you have it. We won't be getting out of here without a fight. Fine by me. What is that? Their happy faces are disturbing. We are fighting furnaces? It's the Transformer bot. I like the name, it's almost like the following sequel to Metabots. Only slightly more dangerous than consuming the beverages it creates. Oh! We are fighting the coffee machines! What? I will save this app. We are fighting coffee machines, man. Would you ever believe that could be an enemy? I mean, in Pokemon, there are teacups now as a Pokemon, so... There are apples, even. Let's go for Laser. No, that's Heal Blaster. Oh yeah, Laser is Alice's attack. Go for... Oh, yes, never mind. Purification Torch. I have the autofocus. Yeah, they attack with coffee. I mean, caffeine or too much caffeine could be bad. Okay, one more round until the zap. Or I could go for the Void Bullet. Enviro Hack, what is the effect on the factory? Okay, stunning. Oh yeah, it's just like the dungeon we were last time, right? One coffee machine down. Now I go for... Man, I'm thinking that freaking Chon is Alyssa. No, Echo. Echo will go for... or repeat. The Fire Torch. He can heal? Now I can finally use the Laser. And then the boosted Zap. But that healing was BS. Uppercut! Nice! Now I can attack again. Let's go for pistol. It's the only one I have. I can only go for bash as well. I want to use knockout. Have you seen any gameplay of Desk Job, the game that Valve launched or released? I have not. It was the game that came out together with the Steam Deck, right? I saw the news of it, but not really too much about it. And then people were already saying that people are using the Steam Deck to play Nintendo Switch games. And then I think Nintendo did something about it, of like saying that they would punish whoever was going to play Switch games on the Steam Deck. But what is about that game? Is it good? How is it? I didn't see anything, only the news. Sue can even start laughing. Man, Sue is he's like 5 minutes into my party and I already love him so much. So how... Oh my god, that looks dangerous. Should I risk it? This looks like a trap. I will explore more because maybe there is a way for me to stop the treadmill. So it is a game. It was a game that was developed to help the user to understand how Steam Deck works, but it has the same humor that Portal has. And it also goes on the Arbiter Science. I was mentioning that I got the Portal Bridge Constructor game, right? Another reason why I wanna play it is for the humor of it. Man, I'm eating all of my words from the first stream of this game that I was like kind of criticizing the soundtrack, not for it being bad, but for it not matching the locals I was exploring, right? Dude, the soundtrack is like the best of this game so far. There is no bad song. Oh my god! It's like Scintilla? I'm writing down that name. Scintilla. That's an interesting name. You there, I'm in a bit of a tricky pickle here. If you could shut off this conveyor's power, it would help a great deal. Oh wait, you need the password to activate the switch. It's 1234 password. Should do it. Where though? Let's save Scintilla. I almost said Sevilla. And now, what are those things right there? But is this the computer? It's not. I mean, let's fight those things. It's just a turret, speaking on Portal. It's the defense turret. Heavy armor, heavy damage. And then I'm remembering the one turret. Help! I'm different! Man, that turret was the best. Let's fight the... wait. They are both defense turrets, but they both have different positions or poses? Anyway, go for the one on the bottom. Actually, they have a lot of HP! Holy cow! As they are weak to Earth, let's do this. No, let's attack. And they are strong too, so I gotta be careful. Laser. Heal yourself, Dave, because you are always the first one to die. And then we start attacking with Sue. And then Sean. I think she could prepare to heal everybody. Yep. Let's try. It's not going to kill it, right? But let's try. And then... wait, the counter would be great in here. Let's try the counter shreds. Heal Blaster. Counter! Nice! Counter again! Yeah, those were Final Fantasy VII strategies against Ruby Weapon. Who remembers that? It's the magic of counter attacks. No, I will not waste your hyper. I should attack. I mean... I don't wanna... Can I kill one of them? I still can't. They have so much HP. Sue is going to get his hyper though. But then Dave will die. I can't do that. I were AFK for a while, just saying hey one last time before I head out. Alright man, I actually might be finishing the stream probably after this fight too. I gotta go watch Big Brother Brazil. It's starting soon. But thank you so much for stopping by, man. Good luck on the tournaments you have been playing. I hope on the next time you face that villager, you kinda win more of the rounds, right? You win more times. And yes, take care, man. I hope you also keep on reading the Game of Thrones books, because I also gotta go back to that. And then we talk again later, man. Take care, have a good night. But yes, I think I will finish the stream after this fight because it's getting to my time. Should I recharge? No, let's use this. Could this kill? I'm risking it. Let's see if this can at least get close to killing it. Never mind, but we have a hyper attack. Let's go for Bolo Punch, maybe? Try the Bolo Punch, why not? At least I'm not alone. I gotta admit that I also haven't read Game of Thrones in the past weeks too, man. I think that after we talked about the books, I read for like 2 more days, and then I stopped reading it. But it's also because a lot has been going on in my life. I was even starting the stream talking a little bit about it. But I will try to reconcentrate and go back to them for sure, like to the books for sure. Especially because they were getting to the mid-end, so things are starting to happen a lot. Nice! Let's go! Man, Sue is so good as well. And then here, I only have one enemy left, so I'm not scared. Let's attack. Wait, the counter is infinite? We're still only at the part where they are on the way to the King's Landing. That's the very beginning, isn't it? I mean, it's been years since I read the first book, but it is still in the very beginning, or if not very beginning, getting to the mid. And then on page 400, shit happens. Right now, I'm at a part that they rescued Sam from a crazy attack that happened in the north part. Yeah, they rescued Sam, and then Sam is in a house with a lot of people scared AF from another attack or something. And he was remembering John. Yeah, but it was just after the North got like massively attacked, and then in the meantime there are some marriages happening in the capital, and also John is coming back to the north, like to the wall, right? Yeah, that's where I am in the book. And then Daenerys got an army, and she's getting ready for some war. You would say we're getting to the mid. You're also listening to an audiobook, right? Oh, you are? Do you wanna share which book you're listening to? Is it a fictional book? Wait. No, let's recharge. All quiet on the Western Front. I have never heard of it, but for some reason that title reminded me of something I saw on Netflix. not Netflix. It was never mind. It was not on Netflix. It was about a movie that seems to be a Western movie. Oh yeah, it's about dogs. Let me Google it. It seems that it's going to be a movie that it's so good that it's probably going to get many Oscars. Yeah, maybe in English it's The Dog's Attack. No, it's called Power of the Dog. It is actually a Netflix movie, it seems. Yeah, I saw the news about this movie called The Power of the Dog. It's a Western story, and it seems to be competing for the Oscars this year. There is a movie based on it. I haven't heard of it. Let me also Google it. Oh, never mind. This is a war movie? It's not Western. It's about the First World War. Holy shit, it's a very old movie. It's from 1930. Damn, is it like, is it fictional? It probably is, right? But maybe it was based on real events or something? So it is historical fiction. It takes place in the World War I, but it's not like a traditionally war story. It's more like about the experiences of the average soldier and the reality of how ugly war is. Which, in my opinion, makes the movie way more interesting than just like seeing bombs being shot and stuff, you know? If it is more psychological, it's fantastic. It was written by an actual World War I veteran. It is fictional but heavily based on the author's actual experience, yeah. I'm not a fan of like that topic or like war and very serious things, but there are some couple movies related to war that I still gotta watch. For example, Schindler's List, right? The Schindler's List. I still gotta watch that one. I don't have an attack. I will recharge. Never mind, so Sue's counter is not, it's not lasting forever. Because right now he's getting shot and he's not countering. I will try this just for fun. It gives a shield break? When they said vulnerable, I was not thinking it was a shield break. Holy shit! You see, never underestimate any attack. It's just like Karibo card from Yu-Gi-Oh! You think it's shitty, but then it can make all sorts of shenanigans in that game. I mean, I gotta go, but I wish I could save that character. Nobody's going to get late for me. Let me save. There we go, 14 hours so far. Man, this music. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Next Sunday, we are finishing this factory exploration, maybe saving that person, I hope we can, and heading to the top of the building, I guess, to face the Director Steel. I also hope they kind of show us more of like, why is this company that evil, because that was not fully clear to me before. But I will watch the VOD as well and then check it out so I can refresh my memory for what was going on. But anyway, that's it. I hope we all get a more chill week this week, because boy, my week was crazy. But hey, it was for the best, I hope. So take care, stay safe, and I see you then. Good night.